growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits. Call 1-800-605-9191 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney used to grow wealthy. And I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-605-9191. That's 1-800-605-9191. Again, 1-800-605-9191.
If the best part of your workday is spent listening to us on your drive to work and back, maybe it's time your workday was spent somewhere else. Many of the companies you hear advertising on The Fanatic are hiring talented, hardworking people just like you. Visit the Fanatic job board at 975thefanatic.com/now hiring for links to career opportunities with our partners.
Drytech Waterproofing Solutions is looking for qualified professionals to join our close-knit team. Our sales professionals enjoy competitive compensation, weekly paychecks, and absolutely no cold calling. We'll give you the training to be successful. Call today, 1-888-537-9832, or go to drytechcorp.com. You want to make green? You gotta think green. Start your driver or technician career with Waste Management. $7,500 sign-on bonus. Paid college tuition. Apply online at careers.wm.com.
These are just a few of our advertisers now hiring. Check out the full list at 975thefanatic.com/now hiring. We love working with these companies, and we're sure you will too.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless. Now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
Hello, Discover here to explain our cash back match. Here's how it works. We give you cash back for using your Discover card on the things you were going to buy anyway. Then we match that cash back in your first year. And that's why we call it Cashback Match. Now to recap and say cashback one more time. We match all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year automatically. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
Progressive presents Forced Metaphors about bundling your home and auto.
When you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, you get great savings and round-the-clock protection, which is as beautiful as looking your firstborn child in the eyes for the first time. Well, that's a bit much. Maybe it's more like looking your second-born child in the eyes for like the third or fourth time. Point being, the savings and round-the-clock protection are really, really magical.
Forced Metaphors, presented by Progressive. Bundle and protect today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Get your game on at Timeout Sports Bar in Skipback. With 30 TVs, live music every weekend, and a menu of delicious food, including gluten-free and vegan options, everyone in your party is sure to be happy. Make it your Sixers headquarters. Enjoy $4 Corona bottles and $3 Corona drafts. For more info, visit timeoutskipback.com.
Hey Philly, Dunkin' has your back by making mobile ordering as easy as possible. They'll get you in, out, and on the go, so you'll be feeling good to go. Order through the Dunkin' app or pick up in-store or the drive-thru for a contactless experience. America runs on Dunkin'.
Hey, it's Cuz. Listen up, you guys hard working out there. I got a game changer for you. Brunt Workwear. Growing like crazy, insanely comfortable, no BS work boots. They sell directly to hard-working Americans like you without the 50% markup you get with other work boot brands. That means you get the best possible price without sacrificing comfort and quality. Check out bruntworkwear.com. Use the code Philly to get $10 off your first order. Again, use the code Philly at bruntworkwear.com. Brunt Workwear, the tools you wear.
This ad for Hellsberg Diamonds has been specifically written for those who'd rather think about football than engagement rings. When free agency starts, your team wants to get the best players they can without spending too much. If your team is you and the players are engagement rings, then your best bet in free agency is shopping at Hellsberg Diamonds, where you know you'll get the highest quality diamonds at prices that keep you from going over the salary cap. Visit your local Hellsberg store and ask about our price match guarantee, or check us out at hellsberg.com.
WPEN, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Home of 76ers basketball and Flyers hockey.
Plug in.
97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia. It's time now for Cuz Radio.
What up, Cuz?
Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding?
Talking with the Cuz.
Yo, Cuz, how you doing?
Stairs rips one into the night.
Stolen by the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Ray, rock the baby to sleep and slam dunk.
Look, Cuz, don't even try it, okay?
Now here's Anthony Gargano.
Why don't you get the hell out of here, Cuz?
And a good Friday morning, Philadelphia. I'm Andrew Salchunas in for the Cuz. Anthony off today, enjoying a nice 3-day weekend. He will be back on Monday, so I hope my man has a great weekend, as we all will have a great weekend, hopefully, with these Sixers playing tonight and tomorrow. I've been saying this for the last couple of days. It's the first time in my life that I am excited for a back-to-back in Sixers history. Because, you know, back-to-backs in recent years haven't been fun with the Sixers because it meant that Joel Embiid wasn't playing. But we haven't really dealt with that same thing now. And because these are two pretty important games. You look at the standings in the Eastern Conference, and I know there's still quite a bit of time left before playoff time. But you look at the seeding, you got the Cavs who are right there. You're playing them tonight at 7 o'clock. And tomorrow you have the Miami Heat who are sitting on top of the Eastern Conference. So it means something, these next two games. So we're going to have a lot of fun, obviously, the rest of the season, but this weekend's going to be fantastic. We then have an off day Sunday, but it'll be a beautiful day on Sunday. So I hope everybody's going to enjoy their weekend. I hope Anthony enjoys his weekend. So I'm sitting in his chair today. Tom Alvord sitting in my seat today. Tom will be discussed about later on today because Tom knocked me out in knockout the other day. So we'll get into that. You felt comfortable coming into work today? Knowing that you did that to me?
Not really, no.
I'm sitting here wounded. I got stabbed by a plate.
I was waiting
you think you just step right in and knock me out?
For the text from Coach, hey, we don't need you today, and probably not next week either.
Yeah.
We're good, thanks.
Yeah, this might be your last day.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming in today, Tom. I appreciate it. So the Sixers are 3-0 in the James Harden era, and I'm ecstatic, right? I feel like the majority of people are ecstatic. I think people are fired up for tonight's game. I mean, we are going to start turning the weather soon, right? It's going to be really nice out. There's going to be a lot more things to do. You're not just going to be trapped in your house. But now that the weather's starting to turn and COVID restrictions are being lifted, you know, the Wells Fargo Center the other night, for the first time, you weren't required to wear a mask at the game. All these things are going great. It's wonderful. And you know what's going to happen? People are going to start making plans to watch Sixers games, right? Like the first beautiful day, people aren't going to be like, let me go to this brewery. No, they're going to be like, all right, where can I go watch the game? And that's awesome because there's so much hype around this team, and deservedly so. I mean, they were already playing decent basketball before the James Harden trade was made. Obviously, we all kind of felt the same thing. They're probably not going to win the championship. The dark cloud of Ben Simmons was hanging over all of us, and it really sucked. But when you started hearing that whisper that Ben Simmons could be traded for a star player like James Harden, it started changing a little bit, right? Like the talk, the vibes around the team, everybody was a little bit more excited. And now it couldn't have started off better. I mean, they're 3-0. They've covered every single game. It's been great. James Harden has looked fantastic. Tyrese Maxey has looked fantastic. Obviously, it's great that he and Harden have this decent relationship where Harden can go up to him at halftime and say, yo, dude, are you going to play today? Are you going to show up to work today? And then he goes off and has an incredible second half. It's great that Doc Rivers is finally realizing that it is okay to have at least two starters in at all times. Anthony's saying that it's genius. I don't think it is genius because I think it should have been done last year. But it's a better team now, and it's great that we're going to have at least two starters in at all times, depending on the situation. Obviously, there were moments where James Harden was out there with four bench players or just a bunch of shooters, and I think that's actually okay at times, right? Where maybe you try to fill it for a few minutes, like a 2-3 minute period, maybe at the end of a half or at the end of a quarter. But the Sixers are 3-0, and things are great, right? But I still hear all kinds of concerns. And it's not the majority. But you hear like one concern from this person, one concern from that person. Even yesterday, we had Kevin DeGandhi on, who joins us every single week, usually on Wednesdays, but we wanted to have him on Thursday of this week because it was the day after a game. We wanted to hear his reaction. He was fired up. He was excited. And then he started throwing in the concerns. But the bench isn't deep enough. but they still don't have a big man. And that's Kevin Nagandi, who I value his opinion, right? He's on 6 o'clock Sports Center every single day, right? He is following every team, every league, you name it. I respect his opinion. But it's not just him, right? There are people that call in. There are people that tweet in. There are people that are on our YouTube section. What's up, YouTube? Good morning. But every single day, there's somebody with some sort of concern. So I actually have in front of me the list of concerns that I heard pre-trade, right? When you heard the rumors that it could be James Harden. I have the complaints post-trade, but pre-games, because remember, Harden didn't play the first 2 games after the trade. He came back after the All-Star break against Minnesota. And now through 3 games, there are still complaints. There are still worries. There are still concerns. And here they are. And you pretty much know the timeline of these. Harden is cooked. That is obviously a pre-trade concern that people had. That James, the hamstring's going to blow up on him at any minute. Oh, he's not the same player as he was in Houston. He has too many minutes under his legs. He looks fat out there, even though you know he'd bust your ass on the court. Like, there was all these complaints about James Harden is cooked and blah, 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 blah. Harden will hurt the progression of Tyrese Maxey was one of the complaints. Now, with all due respect to Tyrese Maxey, I didn't care about his progression. I thought, admittedly, that he was actually going to take a slight step back in terms of scoring total, right? And he wasn't going to have the ball as much as his hands because James Harden, the isolations, the 2-man game with him and Joel Embiid, the things that Tobias Harris was going to include, and I'll get to Tobias in a second. But I thought Maxey was going to take a slight step back offensively with his role. And you know what? I have been proven wrong, and I'm thrilled about it. It's not that I thought he was going to stink. I just thought he was going to take a slight step back. He has exceeded my expectations. That's awesome. But there's all these complaints about, oh, my God, we're going to hurt the progression of Tyrese Maxey. Well, if you're bringing in an elite scorer, an all-time player in James Harden, for 30 minutes, let's forget about Tyrese Maxey. Well, it's actually worked out pretty well. Harden won't fit with Embiid. James Harden, he can't play with Joel Embiid. He just needs somebody that can set a screen and roll to the basket. He needs a Clint Capella type. Joel Embiid's not going to work. No, he's never played with Joel Embiid. He's never played with a player like Joel Embiid. He played with Kevin Durant, obviously, in Brooklyn, and he played with him in Oklahoma City years ago. But he's never played with a big man like Joel Embiid. And you have seen so far through 3 games, and oh, by the way, there are still complaints about it, through 3 games, the things that Harden and Embiid could do together. I saw in the most recent game against the Knicks, Joel Embiid set a screen at the top of the key, and both guys followed Embiid when he rolled. Both guys. So what did James Harden do? Bang. 3-pointer, wide open. He's not going to miss. A couple of plays later, they did it again. So what happened? Both guys stayed with Harden. So where did Harden throw it to? Because, oh, by the way, he's an excellent facilitator, which a lot of people ignored or forgot or didn't watch when he was in Houston, in Brooklyn, and Oklahoma City. I don't understand it. I don't understand how people miss these things. He then makes a perfect pass for Joel Embiid, who scores 2 points. Harden won't fit with Embiid. That was another concern that we heard pre-trade. Andre Drummond is God. That was one of those as well. Like, Andre Drummond is Wilt Chamberlain. He's Shaquille O'Neal. He's Bill Russell. You name it. Andre Drummond is God. That was one of the concerns. Now, I might be paraphrasing a little bit, but the fears, and Tom asked me before the show, he goes, hey, I haven't heard everything you've said so far. What did you think about the people that think Andre Drummond is God? He's not God. He's not. He did not rise, on Easter Sunday. Like, that was not Andre Drummond, okay? Andre Drummond, I think, was the best backup that Joel Embiid has ever had. But for 8 minutes, I think I can find somebody else. I don't understand to this day, and there are still people. When the Sixers were 2-0, I heard on the Mike Missinelli show a guy call in and say, oh, my God, but when Embiid's off the court, it's just so bad. Who cares? Who cares? Because you know what's going to happen the 8 minutes that Embiid's off the court? When they're back on, they're going to go on a 10-0 run. Him and Harden. They're going to go on a 10-0 run constantly during games. So forget Andre Drummond. Seth Curry is the only person in the NBA that can shoot a three-pointer. Literally the only guy. It's not even his brother can shoot threes like Seth Curry. You would think Seth Curry was Larry Bird, the way some people spoke. My own father. Right, and I'm glad he's come to the realization that we're not going to miss Seth Curry all that much. Obviously, listen, he was the best three-point shooter other than James Harden on this team, right? He was better than George Niang. He's way better than Furkan Korkmaz. He's better than Danny Green. I get that, right? And if you didn't have to trade away Seth Curry, that would have been awesome. I miss Seth Curry more than I miss Andre Drummond. There's more talk about Andre Drummond than Seth Curry. But I miss Seth Curry more than Andre Drummond. But you'll be fine because you now have a point guard, unlike number 25, who actually does shoot the ball, who does shoot threes, and does make them consistently. The defense is going to suck, and some people are saying it still sucks. Okay, they're going to outscore every team. Need a backup big, but don't get DeAndre Jordan because he's cooked. Yeah, listen, it's one of these, you want your cake and eat it too. Like, you have a backup big now. DeAndre Jordan played with Doc Rivers. He played with Tobias Harris, right? He's had a long career. He may be cooked, but it's for 8 minutes. Get over it. Who would you rather have? Seriously, there's no other options out there. You needed to trade Andre Drummond to get James Harden. So would you have rather have had Andre Drummond, Seth Curry, and company? Or would you rather have what you've seen so far through 3 games where the Sixers are 3-0? And finally, Tobias Harris just stinks. That's another concern. All of a sudden, he forgot how to play basketball, according to a lot of people. So the reason why I bring these all up, even though I know the minority right now believes that there's still a lot of concerns, but I hear from people that are excited, and that's why I used Kevin Nagandi as an example, because we had him on yesterday. He's fired up about this team. He's so excited about this team, but he still has that little bit of doubt in the back of his mind. And I just go, why? Like, I'm not a Furkan Korkmaz fan by any means, right? I don't think he should play. I think 5 minutes is enough for Furkan Korkmaz, and if he's playing terribly, you get him out of the game. Doc Rivers did that the other day, and what happened? The Sixers still won. Even on a night where Korkmaz only played 5 minutes, the Sixers still won. Is the bench all that deep? No, it's not. But you have 4 legitimate starters that can score no matter who they are on the court with. Harden can score with literally anybody. He could be playing 1-on-5 and he'll score. Joel Embiid can score when he's double-teamed, triple-teamed. We've seen it all season long, which is why he's an MVP candidate. Tyrese Maxey can score no matter who he's playing with. We have seen nights where there's only 8 guys, like last year because of COVID, and Tyrese Maxey puts up 40 points in an unfortunate loss. The only guy in your starting 5 that you go, he can't score at all is Matisse Thybulle, but at least he helps you out defensively. So even though the majority are like me fired up, a lot of those people that are in that majority still believe that there's still this little thing I'm concerned about. Just get over it. Please, I'm asking you today because they're 3-0. Until they lose, can we just keep on riding this great wave? Now, I want to ask for you, 610-632-0975, the number again. I want you to, A, if you are like me and believe these people are ridiculous, for some reason, people don't like to listen to me or Anthony or Tom, right? Maybe your fellow fan, even though we are fans, your fellow fan who knows that those complaints are ridiculous, I want you to call in at 610-632-0975 and explain to the doubters or to what Anthony called yesterday the chicken littles because they're waiting for the sky to fall. Explain to them why it is ridiculous. But on the other side, if you are one of those people that I mentioned, the people that are still missing Andre Drummond, still missing Seth Curry, more so than me, right? Like, I wish Seth Curry was here, but I'm not losing sleep over not having Seth Curry. The people that think, oh, my God, they're going to lose because they don't have Seth Curry, need to hear from you. I need you to explain to me why having DeAndre Jordan for 6 to 8 minutes is the end of the world. Joel Embiid is going to play 40 minutes. There's 48 minutes in a game. So that's just 8 minutes you need to fill. And it doesn't have to be 8 minutes of Andre Drummond. You can run a small lineup where Paul Millsap plays the big for 2 minutes. That's all I'm asking for. 2 minutes at the end of a quarter to give Embiid the 2 minutes of breathing time and then obviously in between quarters. So the extra 2-3 minutes that he gets. That's 5 minutes for him to just relax, have some water, right? If you are one of these people that are freaking out still, I need to hear from you so we can talk about it. 610-632-0975. The other thing, before I get to Tom Alvord, and I'm looking to my left right now, and I see John Kincaid on the couch. He's hanging out with Chuck D'Amico, Jamie Lynch, the bro. He's hanging out with Connor. John said something this morning that kind of struck a chord. And I don't necessarily disagree with John, but I just think it's unfair. So I was listening this morning, as I do every single day. I was watching on YouTube, and John talked about 2 people here at the station. One, Anthony L. Gargano, who I hang out with often, as you know, and Tyrone Johnson, who I also see every single day when he comes in and produces for the Mike Missanelli Show. And he said that they're waving pom-poms right now. Kind of waving pom-poms right now because they believe that they can get to the NBA Finals. That they are already talking about parade routes. And I think that's more so having fun with the conversation. But yeah, Anthony and Tyrone believe they're going to the NBA Finals. And Anthony, I mean, I'm dead serious. He's not saying this to pander to you by any means. Off the air is saying, dude, I really believe it. I really believe that they're going to the NBA Finals and they could win. I see the teams in the Western Conference that they will match up with, and I believe that they can win. Anthony's really saying these things, right? He's not just saying it on the radio to make you excited. So I, like John Kincaid, believe that I'm still kind of... All right, hold on a second. I just want to see them get to the Eastern Conference Finals first, right? It's been 21 years since they got to the Eastern Conference Finals. 2001 was the last time they got to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I'm also like Anthony and Tyrone, where I am fired up, and I believe that it can happen. So I want to ask a question. Why is it considered pom-pom waving? And I know John's not alone. There are other people, and maybe it's the same people that have these concerns about the Sixers that are going, oh, you're a homer. You're a homer. Of course you think they're going to go to the NBA Finals. Well, why? Why is that pom-pom waving? It's not like we're getting excited for an Eagles win against Garrett Gilbert and the Washington football team, or the Commanders, or whatever the hell their name is now. Like, think about that for a second. There were people that when they beat Garrett Gilbert thought that the Eagles were going to go on this run and go on a deep run in the playoffs. I was all about the ride. I was all about enjoying the moment and going, hey, let's get to the playoffs. And I mapped it out. I was one of the first people here at the station saying that they are going to get to the NFL playoffs. I didn't think they were going to win a game in the playoffs. I thought whoever they faced, including Tampa Bay, would destroy them because they are in a higher class than the Eagles. And that's exactly what happened. But against those bad teams, they were able to win. The Sixers aren't just beating bad teams right now. Like, I know it's the T-Wolves. I know it was the Knicks twice. But it's not like they're just beating the backups of these teams. No, like, they're winning, and they're winning handedly. And I know that there's going to be true tests this weekend, obviously tonight with the Cavs, tomorrow with the Miami Heat. These are true tests. The March 10th game, Ben Simmons or not, that is a true test against the Brooklyn Nets because Kevin Durant is back. So these are all true tests. But when you look at what you've seen so far in 3 games, everything has worked. There has not been a moment in the game where I go, oh, God, this is going to hurt us. Defense, which is probably the biggest concern for a lot of people. All right, well, the Sixers are going to outscore you because you can't stop them offensively. When their starting 5 is out there, your weakest link offensively is Matisse Thybulle, and the amount of things that he can do without the ball in his hands, where he can cut to the basket. And Connor Thomas is excited because that's his favorite player in the world. I don't understand how. But the amount of things that he can do without the ball in his hands. Obviously, the 2-man game of Harden and Embiid. Maxey is scoring at will. And Tobias Harris, who I believe will eventually figure out his role with this team, I think he's going to be a consistent 15-point-a-night kind of guy. And that may be terrible for a lot of people because he gets paid a lot of money, but I don't care. At this point, I don't care. If they're going to win something and Tobias Harris is a 15-point-a-night guy, so be it that his contract is so high. I just want to see a title. And I believe that this team can do it. Now, I'm like John, like I said. I need to get to the Eastern Conference Finals first before I say they're going to win the NBA championship. Or I need to see a little bit more than the 3 games. But I don't think it's crazy. And I don't think it's pom-pom waving. And I understand why that's a term. So let's get into it. 610-632-0975. 10 o'clock hours brought to us by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows. Plus, make no down payment with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com. Tom Alvord, you're producing the show today. We'll get into all the concerns on the other side, but is it pom-pom waving for you that you think they could go to the NBA Finals? Because I think that's crazy.
No, it's not pom-pom waving. I think it's being realistic and seeing what we have in front of us. These are 2 of the best players in the NBA. Joel Embiid is probably the MVP favorite. He is.
Yes.
On most betting sites. He is the MVP favorite. Last week I was calling James Harden a top 15 player. He looks like a top 8 player in the NBA right now.
Yeah, he's not cooked. He looks fat.
He looks healthy.
None of those things that people complained about.
He looks motivated as well. And this is just meshing so perfectly. I understand being cautiously optimistic because the East is tough and there are tough teams in here. The Brooklyn Nets may be an 8 seed going into the playoffs. That might happen. However, this is a star-driven league. And if you ask anyone in the world besides Jason McIntyre, the Philadelphia 76ers have 2 of the best stars in the league, and that's what wins in this league. I understand Ben Simmons was good defensively. I understand he was good in transition. Come on, this is a completely...
So is James Harden, not the defense part, but he's good in transition,
he's just as good. Maybe not as powerful, but he's just as good.
He's a strong dude. He ran through the chest of 2 Knicks players the other night, and the foul, finished the layup. Like, he's a strong dude. I don't understand this notion. Oh, he's fat. He goes to clubs too much. He doesn't work hard. What are you talking about? That means you've never watched him play. Watch him play.
And you've never heard what he said because he said it, I think it was after the Timberwolves game, how motivated he is and how in shape and how he never, he hasn't felt better in a while. This team knows they can win the championship and they absolutely can. And that's scary for everyone around the league. It's okay. I know we've dealt with a lot the last year and a half. I know we've dealt with a lot the last 6 years. This team is real, and it's okay to say that. It's okay to think that.
Well, that's why I have a question coming up in the next segment about why we live in fear. Because I don't understand it. We'll discuss that. 610-632-0975. So all those concerns that I laid out, that I've heard pre- and post-trade and post-3 games of the James Harden era, there are still concerns that are floated out there. If you're one of those people, I need to hear from you. I want to talk to you about it. If you're not one of those people, like me, can you help explain to me why it's crazy talk to have, oh my God, Andre Drummond, he's the next coming. He's the next coming. How could you trade him? 610-632-0975. And is it really pom-pom waving thing to get to the finals? I don't think so. I'm Andrew Salchunas, filling in for the Cuz right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers back in action tonight. I'm Tom Alvord, and this update is brought to you by Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. Speeding puts you, your passengers, and others on the road at risk. Slow down, save a life, be safe, PA. Or at penndot.pa.gov/safety, paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars. Yes, James Harden and the Philadelphia 76ers will be looking for their 4th straight win since the All-Star break tonight in Philadelphia against the Cavaliers. Philadelphia comes into the game just 2.5 games back of the Miami Heat for first place in the Eastern Conference with 21 games remaining on the schedule. The Sixers last faced the Cavs 3 weeks ago where they won 103-93 despite not having James Harden due to a hamstring injury. They look to have a similar outcome tonight, and you can listen to that game right here on The Fanatic. Tip-offs at 7 o'clock. In other Sixers news, the team announced they've signed veteran center DeAndre Jordan to a deal for the remainder of the season. The 33-year-old former All-Star averaged just over 4 points and 5 rebounds in 32 games for the Lakers this season, playing about 12 minutes a game. The Sixers also announced they will release Willie Cauley-Stein to make room for Jordan. Cauley-Stein played a total of 5 minutes as a Sixer. And the Flyers lose another one, falling to the Minnesota Wild 5-4. It's their 8th loss in their last 9 games. They look to bounce back tomorrow against the Blackhawks. Make sure you tune in tonight for Draft Lines at 6 o'clock with Jamie Lynch and Devon Gibbons as they get you ready for Sixers Cavs. Keep it locked to Fanatic all day for breaking news and information. I'm Tom Alvord, and you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic.
It's the Anthony Gargano Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. The push to the playoffs is on.
Maxey, step back 3 in the air. Got it. Tyrese Maxey.
Sixers, Cavs. Tonight at 7. It's Embiid, Harden, and your 76ers on your home for 76ers basketball. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Sixers basketball is brought to you by Corona, proud sponsor of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Hey guys, Bob Cooney here. Covington, Masvidal. The rivalry will be renewed this Saturday night, and FanDuel Sportsbook, in partnership with Valley Forge, is making things even more exciting by offering new customers 30-1 odds on either fighter. That's right, you could win $150 on a $5 bet. Just sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook account using promo code BOB. Pick your fighter and get ready to win big. So much fun. Saturday night fights, are you kidding me? Whether you go with Covington or Masvidal, you'll never lose with FanDuel Sportsbook. I love FanDuel. It's quick and easy to get started. You get your winnings fast, and there's tons of different sports and bet types to wager on. FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook. It's super quick to get started, and you can withdraw your winnings in a snap. Don't miss your chance to cash in on one of the biggest fights of the year. Sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook using promo code BOB today.
21 plus of President PA. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Have you been lied to? Lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Richard Cohen from right here in South Jersey in the Philadelphia area. And I want to give you a free copy of my new book, Wall Street's Retirement Plans and 401ks Have Failed Millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I said, enough. I've discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically. And when the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Reliable Financial now to get a free copy of my book and talk to me personally to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits. Call 1-800-605-9191 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney used to grow wealthy. And I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-605-9191. That's 1-800-605-9191. Again, 1-800-605-9191.
When it comes to cybersecurity, the biggest threats don't always strike the biggest targets. Almost half of all cyber attacks target small businesses. So help protect yours with Comcast Business Security Edge. It's advanced security that continuously scans for threats and helps protect every connected device. On the largest, fastest, reliable network with speeds up to 10 gigs to the most small businesses. So switch today and get cutting-edge speed with advanced security and be ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security, together for just $69.99 a month for 12 months with a 3-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get free installation when you order online. Or find out how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying bundle. Call or go online today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New Comcast Business 100 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Prepaid card offer ends 3/31/22.
If the best part of your workday is spent listening to us on your drive to work and back, maybe it's time your workday was spent somewhere else. Many of the companies you hear advertising on The Fanatic are hiring talented, hardworking people just like you. Visit the Fanatic job board at 975thefanatic.com/nowhiring for links to career opportunities with our partners.
You want to make green? You got to think green. Start your driver or technician career with Waste Management. $7,500 sign-on bonus. Paid college tuition. Apply online at careers.wm.com. Are you a window and door installer looking for work or a change? Come work for a locally owned company in business for over 30 years. Make your own hours. Get paid weekly. Thermal Quality Windows. Hiring now. Call 610-325-0788 or visit thermalqualitywindows.com.
These are just a few of our advertisers now hiring. Check out the full list at 975thefanatic.com/nowhiring. We love working with these companies, and we're sure you will too.
Do you have taxiety? That uncertain feeling before doing your taxes? Connect with Liberty Tax and then just breathe in and cash out.
Get your refund faster with direct deposit to a Deep Blue debit account.
Deep Blue.
Visit StopTaxiety.com to schedule your appointment, and let's end taxiety. Liberty Tax. Faster access to funds based on comparing refunds via direct deposit versus a mailed paper check. Terms and conditions apply.
HVAC contractors and techs. Want to be sure the system you're repairing or installing is running efficiently? Then test it with Testo. Heating, cooling, air quality, electrical, and more. If it can be measured, it should be measured with precision with Testo instrumentation. Testo is a world leader, headquartered right here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. For accurate results, ask for Testo by name. To see Testo's full line of measurement instruments, products, and job site solutions, visit Testo.com. That's Testo.com. Testo, be sure.
I need 4 more of the biscuit carnitas, 2 burnt end platters, 3...
The kitchen at Kai's Barbecue is firing on all cylinders.
Greg, help me bring these to the pickup counter.
He needs food runners who can hit the ground quickly.
86 on the chicken and we're short-staffed. Let's pick it up.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house, country, techno, or techno country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
It's hard to get out of bed on these cold mornings. Walking into a cold bathrooms is the worst. If you're like many people, you've gone the space heater route to make certain rooms in your house livable. Mike Miss here with an important reminder from my electrician, Dan Namero at Farron Electric. Now, space heaters are great, but if you don't have a dedicated circuit for those space heaters, they can be dangerous. So don't take any chances. Call Farron Electric at 484-316-0449 or online at farronelectric.com. That's FARRYN electric.com.
At 7-Eleven, mix and match any 3 pizza slices or select grill items for just $3. 3 for $3. You also get a Big Gulp drink free. So really, it's 4 for $3. 7-Eleven. Offer expires 4/12/22. Plus tax where applicable at select stores. Visit store for details.
More of the Anthony Gargano Show now
on 97.5 The Fanatic.
10:30, 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Andrew Salchunas filling in for the Cuz. Anthony enjoying a 3-day weekend. He will be back on Monday. And Monday should be fun because we'll be reacting to 2 games as the Sixers play tonight and Saturday. So back-to-back, I'll keep on saying it, the first time in my life that I'm excited for a back-to-back with Sixers because everything's going well right now. Everything's fantastic. A couple tweets I want to read to you before I get to the phones and before I get to Tom's thoughts on all these concerns that I've read. David Bradley checks in. This is a good tweet that I like to read. Pre-Harden, Sixers beat, and a few games out, Embiid. The Bucks, Nets, Memphis, Miami, they're 3-0 against Chicago. They beat the Heat. Denver without Embiid. Does Harden make them worse? What am I missing here? Exactly. Like, the Sixers, and I've said this from day one of the season. I was so fired about the 8-2 start, and I thought that a lot of that was a reaction to what was going on, right? Like, it's us against the world. Everybody thinks Ben Simmons is the victim here. He's leaving us hang out to dry here. So let's give it our all. Tyrese Maxey obviously took a huge step from what we saw his rookie season when he was already impressive his rookie season, but he took a huge step. And they were 8-2. And I thought the COVID issues absolutely destroyed them. Remember, Tobias had COVID, Maxey had COVID, and Embiid had COVID. They lost a lot of guys because of the COVID issues. They lost guys because of injury, and it sucked. And really took the air out of the season. And I didn't think that they would go 8-2 every 10-game stretch. But I thought, if they go 8-2 to start, but they're like a 6-4 every 10 games, that you're going to have a pretty damn good record come the end of the season. But from day one, I didn't think they'd win the NBA Finals. I just didn't think this team was good enough to win the NBA Finals. But before the trade, they were good enough to be right in that mix. I think they were the 6th seed when they made the trade, but they were only like 2.5 back of the top seed because the East was so bunched up. All they traded away was a backup center, a very good shooter in Seth Curry, a guy who's not playing, and draft picks. So, to David Bradley's point, is Harden making this team worse? Because he's not. He makes this team not just better, but like 10 times better. It's not even a question.
That is factually inaccurate.
Yeah, like, I don't understand it. Like, why are we, like, oh, God, it kills me. But now Astro World checks in. So if Sixers lose to the Heat, let's see if your tune changes. It has everything to do with the Sixers not beating anyone good. Let's talk finals after beating a legit contender a few times. Beating the Wolves and Knicks means it's pom-pom waving. Now, I will say this. I am not saying NBA Finals just yet, even though I can see it happening. Like, it makes total sense. For me, it's like, all right, it's been 21 years since they got to the Eastern Conference Finals. We all know about the second round eliminations in recent years, but this is a totally different team. And that's why in a couple of minutes when we start the living in fear conversation, I will remind you that this is a totally different situation. But don't give me they haven't beaten anyone good. I get it. But they have looked so crisp. Transition game, half-court sets. Tom Thibodeau is a defensive-minded head coach, and look what they've been able to do against the Knicks. They've had 2 kind of sloppy quarters in 12 games. It was the very first quarter of the James Harden era when it looked like they were just trying to figure out how to play with one another against the T-Wolves, and then the first quarter against the Knicks. Like, it was pretty sloppy. Second quarter against the Knicks, because the first quarter they actually made that run to tie it at 20. But they've looked good out of 12 quarters. They looked very good in 10 of them. I already said yesterday that I think they go 3-1 in their next 4. And I believe the Heat is the team that they lose to. It's the second game of back-to-back. They have to fly into Miami the night before. So between the travel and obviously it's Miami, which is going to lead to guys going out, which I don't blame anybody. You guys are millionaires. Go have fun. I can see that game being the spot where they lose. I don't think they lose to Brooklyn. I think they want to make too much of a statement to lose to Brooklyn. So I think they beat the Nets on March 10th. I think they win the other game that they have next week. I think they beat the Cavs tonight. But I think tomorrow's game they lose. And I don't think I don't think they lose because they're outclassed. I just think it's a bad spot. So it seems like Astro World wants them to go undefeated for him to feel good about the Sixers. If they lose to the Heat in a tough spot, second game of back-to-back where they have to travel that night, can you blame them? Now, if they look awful, like if they lose by 50 like they did to the Celtics a few weeks ago, okay, but like they don't look like it's people that are looking for the bad moment to happen to say, see, I told you so. See, this is why I don't get my hopes up. This is blah, blah, blah. And I'll get into all that coming up. But, Tom, your response to that tweet, again, this is what Astro World said. So if Sixers lose to the Heat, let's see if your tune changes. It has everything to do with the Sixers not beating anyone good. And that should be one of the things I put on the list of concerns. That includes pre-trade concerns like Harden is cooked. Harden will hurt the progression of Maxey. Harden won't fit with Embiid. Andre Drummond is God. Seth Curry is the only person in the world that can shoot a three-pointer. The defense will suck. Need a backup big, but don't get DeAndre Jordan. Like Harden, he's cooked, and Tobias Harris stinks. Your thoughts on those concerns that people still have after they've started 3-0?
So if the Sixers lose to the Heat, I'm going to have the same tune, unless, of course, it is a 50-point loss like we saw against the Celtics, which I don't think is happening.
No,
That's
it's not
very unrealistic, but the Heat are a very good basketball team, and they're going to Miami, and it's the second leg of a back-to-back. Like, that is, you can call it a scheduled loss there, and I think they're going to fight hard in that game, and I think they're going to be focused and motivated because, you know, they're hearing some of this talk as well. Oh, you haven't beaten anyone. It's the Knicks and Timberwolves. Who cares? You can only play who's in front of you.
Exactly.
And they've beaten those teams, all by double digits, I believe.
Yeah, they've covered in every single game. And oh, by the way, Tom, those same teams you have lost to in the past. Like the bad team. Oh, my God, Doc Rivers let them come back in the third and fourth quarter. This is terrible. And they lost. How do you lose this game to this team? I mean, just look back at the schedule this season. There are games that the Sixers lost to bad teams, and we have all said, how could you lose to that team? They didn't lose the last 3 games, and they've looked pretty crisp when they've played 12 quarters together.
Yes, and very limited practices where James Harden himself has admitted, hey, yeah, I don't know any of the plays. I know we run pick and roll. I know a couple things here and there, you know, the situations and schemes, but that's about it. Now, you know, they're going to be getting in a groove of things, obviously some more practices, getting more comfortable with each other. And, I mean, let's face it, I want to see how they fare in these next couple weeks because they do have a really tough schedule down the stretch. They play Heat, Bulls, Nets, Nuggets, Mavs, Heat, Suns, Bucks. These are really good teams,
yes,
but
they are.
You know, I wouldn't have confidence whether it be last year, whether it be the first half of the season.
Dude, you would have said when you just went through those lists of teams, you would go, I hope they at least come out of that 500.
500, yes.
Now with James Harden, you kind of expect them to have a chance to win every single night.
Yeah, like and no one is saying they're going 22-0 or 21-0, whatever it may be down the stretch. Even
I said 16-8.
That's not realistic.
With
the 19-2 aren't realistic. Excuse me. Yes, 16-8 is realistic.
I said 16-8 in the 24 games with James Harden. They are 3-0.
Yeah, and that's
3-0 so far.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Perfect,
so
actually, if you ask me.
I'll take that. 610-632-0975. I'll ask the question why we live in fear coming up, but first let's go to the phone. Shamir on the cell. Shamir, you're on the Fanatic.
Hey, how you doing?
Great, Shamir. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right, man. I can give you my take on why Kincaid said that Anthony's waving pom-poms, you know, because he believes the Sixers go to the finals.
Why is that?
John Kincaid lived in Atlanta for how long? He's a Hawks fan.
He's not a Hawks fan. I know for a fact he's not a Hawks fan, Shamir.
He's a closet Hawks fan. Come up with a better reason than why you say something like that.
No, because Shamir, here's the deal. I am like John, where I go, listen, I'm not going to say they're going to the finals just yet. I need to see them get to the Eastern Conference Finals because it has been 21 years since the Sixers have gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I can't say through 3 games, hey, they're automatically going to the finals. But unlike John, I go, I don't think you're crazy to to say finals just yet. I'm not saying pom-poms. He's not a closet Hawks fan, Shamir.
But why malign somebody for being excited about what's going on here?
I don't think he's ripping anyone for being excited. Shamir, here, I'll say this. Why don't you call him? Because I don't want you to have to talk about John. Why don't you call him on Monday? I appreciate the call, Shamir. Call him. Don't fight your battle with Kincaid with me. Call John on Monday. I'll tell you right now, he is not a closet Hawks fan. All right? He's a fan of Phil. I talk to him during breaks all the time. He loves these teams. You know, every once in a while you relocate for jobs. He had a great opportunity in Atlanta, had a great career in Atlanta, and now he's home. And, dude, I'll just say this about John. Opening day last year, when we had baseball, that whole lockout thing is going on. Opening day baseball last year, Anthony and I broadcasted from Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia. And John came by the broadcast. He was going to the game, but he came by the broadcast to say hi. And I'm not kidding. The dude almost got emotional because he was so excited to be home. And not just like for the weekend for opening day, like he was home. So to Shamir's point, no, that is not the case. But if you have a bone to pick with John, John's never afraid to fight back.
Doesn't
tweet at him, email him, call in on Monday.
Doesn't John isn't his dog named after Nick Foles?
Yes. Yeah, the dog's name is
Doesn't
literally
sound like a Falcons fan or a Hawks fan to
Nicky
me.
Foles. Yeah.
I don't understand that.
John thought they were going to win the series against the Hawks, by the way. Just like all of us. Nobody expected them to lose in 7 games because number 25.
Yeah, because that home court advantage against a 6 seed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 24 points in the game 5. Yeah.
So I don't need to defend John anymore. But Shamir, if you have a beef with John, call him on Monday. That's all. I never understand that. Every once in a while we get to, hey, I heard Tyrone. All right, then call Tyrone. Then call Tyrone.
You don't want to tell him yourself?
Yeah, like, what are you afraid? Like, that's almost worse than, like, talking smack on social media, right? Like, I was out at a bar the other day, Beers with Bob, and
I've heard of it.
Some guy screamed about somebody that he disliked so that it could go through the mic. And I was just like, dude, really? Like, if you saw that person face to face, would you say that same stuff?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. So, Shamir, if you feel that passionate about John, call John on Monday. 610-632-0975. That is the number to call in, and that's the number to call in to talk about what we're discussing today. Those people who have the concern still with the Sixers. And that's how we'll lead into this next conversation. And I feel like I do this often. I feel like I have to have this conversation often. And Tom, you and I actually talked about this during the Eagles season. The people that live in fear. I don't want to get my heart broken. Like, listen, this isn't a girlfriend or a boyfriend. This isn't anything like that. This is sports. And sometimes we love sports more than our spouses. Listen, I get it. It happens. But the idea of not wanting your heart to get broken confuses me because when you have that feeling, that means you're not enjoying the ride at the current time. So I have to think back. In 2008, now I was a bit younger. I was 14 years old because December baby. Yeah. So I was 14 years old during that run. I'm going to guess because I've admitted I never listened to sports talk radio until I got a job here. Like I didn't know.
Which is crazy.
I didn't know.
Can't believe that.
I didn't know it was a thing. I started listening when I started interning here.
Did you watch ESPN at least?
Or I loved ESPN.
The radio.
I honestly listened to games.
Okay, that's fair.
And I just thought that was just a avenue to listen to. I didn't know that like Mike Missinelli was a thing.
It was just games and then all commercials. That was it.
Yeah, pretty much. I was just like, all right, like, the Phillies are on. Let me listen to this. But I wasn't like, let me listen to the guy after the game. Like,
a little weird, a little odd.
But whatever. Here I am now. I love what I do. I think sports talk radio is such an incredible avenue. It's live all the time. But whatever. But during 2008, I would imagine there were probably people that called in Game 5 of the World Series after the rain delay that were probably like, they're going to blow this 3-1 series lead, and it's going to be all Bud Selig's fault, and the weather gods and sports gods, they all hate us, blah, blah, because we live in fear constantly. And then I guarantee you after they won the World Series, when they were on their way to reach the second World Series, there were people, There's no way. Philadelphia's not lucky enough to win back-to-back World Series. And you know what? Ultimately, you were right. And you were probably like, see, I told you so. They weren't going to beat the Yankees. Well, I at least enjoyed the ride leading up to it. Just this past season, the Eagles sucked, right? Like, they had a great offensive line, great ground game. Darius Slay, they had some nice spots defensively. But let's face it, they had a lot of holes defensively. And when they played good teams, they were exposed. Instead of the Sixers being exposed after one quarter with the Knicks, the Eagles were legitimately exposed against good teams, and you saw it against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's why Howie Roseman is probably not going to trade away all these picks for a quarterback. He wants to continue to build through the draft. But during that stretch, when you looked at the schedule, and you saw the teams ahead of you, and you saw the quarterbacks ahead of you, I thought, listen, as much as I don't think this team is good, they are better than the teams that are ahead of them, and they very well have a chance of making the playoffs because there's an extra wild card spot in the NFL. There are now 3 wild card spots. And sure enough, they made it. And you know what? I had a blast because I enjoyed the ride every step of the way. Whether I was working with Anthony, filling in for Anthony, on the weekends, at home, texting with friends, talking to buddies, you name it, I was enjoying every single second of it. Because why? I wasn't living in fear. We're already 3 games in, 3 wins in, by the way, living in fear with the Sixers. And I need to understand why. Because yesterday, 2 days ago actually, when the Sixers beat the Knicks, after 1 quarter of play, Anthony got a text from somebody who I respect. We did not give the name out on the air, but it was a man that I respect, immediately explaining why the Sixers were exposed. Oh, my God. I told you. I told you this would happen. It was 1 quarter. Yesterday, we got a DM from somebody whose brother is one of the people living in fear because Father's Day messed him up and all this. I get it. Messed me up, too. That's why I had to do the Tunis train to find some sort of joy in life when it comes to sports. I had to find something because I couldn't be sitting here like this all the time. Just... everything sucks. Sports stink. Blah, blah, blah. I couldn't live like that. Sports is my life, right? So right now, there are people that are letting past issues with the Sixers affect how they feel today. James Harden wasn't on the Sixers in Game 7 against the Hawks. Ben Simmons is not on the Sixers anymore. He can't hurt you. He is gone. He can't hurt you anymore. All right? Joel Embiid, who played like an MVP last year, somehow got better. Is playing better this season than he was last year. Tyrese Maxey, and I put out a tweet yesterday. I still believe it's not being talked about enough. Tyrese Maxey, who shot 29% from 3 in Kentucky, 30% from 3 last season, is shooting 40.6% from 3 this year. And a lot of that was pre-Harden. So it's not like Harden is giving him all these open looks. He will give him open looks, but he was already shooting that well before James Harden. So this team is better than it was last year, and they just improved mightily with James Harden. So for the people living in fear, I want to talk to you because I want to let you know that it's all going to be okay. And if they do lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, if they do lose in the NBA Finals, so be it. Enjoy the ride every single night. I was at Beers with Bob 2 nights ago in Skipback, Pennsylvania at the Timeout Sports Bar. It was an awesome place. That place was packed. And you know what they were all wearing? Sixers gear. They were all there for the game. I don't even think they were there for us. I think they were there to watch the game. It was a cool sports bar to watch a Sixers game at. And that's going to happen more and more. So you know what? Don't be one of those people that misses the ride. I guarantee you, I'm talking to you, the person who is terrified right now of having your heart broken. You're probably that same person that after a breakup didn't want to go out to the bar with your boys for like months. All right? Go out tonight and watch the Sixers beat the Cavs on a Friday night. Enjoy it. Go to a great sports bar somewhere. Look at the list of Beers with Bob locations that Bob and I have gone to. They are all awesome places. Go to a sports bar and watch the game and have fun. And don't be like the guy from Major League in the outfield saying that they're gonna lose this one. Here we go again, the same old Cleveland Indians. Like, don't be that guy for Major League. Enjoy it, man. So if you do have one of these fears of having your heart broken, come talk to me. 610-632-0975. Coming up at 11:10, we do it almost every single day. It's Morning Thoughts. I want to say this now. I did a power move this morning with my coffee, Tom. And no, it was not alcohol. But at 11:10, I'm going to tell you what I did this morning with my cup of coffee that may have changed the game for me for like a couple more weeks because my wife's pregnant. So for a couple more weeks, this may change the game. And I wonder if it will change the game of others who are listening. And it's very familiar. Have you ever watched The Office?
I have.
All right. Like, are you a fan?
Yeah, big time fan, yes.
Okay. So there is an Office-like feel to this. But you're not going to, like, burn your feet.
Did you put it in Jell-O? Is that what it was?
No. Remember when Michael Scott burned his feet on the George Foreman grill?
Yes, I do.
All right.
And use that grill later?
I'll explain coming up at 11:10 something that I did this morning that's going to change the game, and I wonder if it will do the same for others. 610-632-0975. I'm Andrew Salchunas. I'm filling in for the Cuz. Cuz just off today, enjoying a 3-day weekend. Morning Thoughts coming your way at 11:10 right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers get their backup center. I'm Tom Alvord, and this update is brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer. Come rain or shine, high winds or mild breezes, blue skies or gray, it's a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer. Yes, the Sixers announced yesterday they've agreed to terms with veteran free agent center DeAndre Jordan after he was released from the Lakers earlier in the week. An all-star in 2017, Jordan spent the majority of his career playing under Sixers head coach Doc Rivers with the LA Clippers. The 33-year-old Jordan is averaging a career-low 4.1 points and 12.8 minutes played per game this season. Jordan will look to give the Sixers some much-needed rebounding help, however, as they rank 29th in the NBA in rebounds per game. No word yet on when Jordan will make his debut. The 76ers are looking for their fourth straight win with James Harden as the point guard tonight in Philadelphia against Cavaliers. The Sixers currently sit at 38-23 on the season, just 2.5 games out of the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. You can listen to tonight's game right here on The Fanatic. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock. And the Flyers lose another one, falling to the Minnesota Wild 5-4. It's their 8th loss in their last 9 games. They blew 4 leads last night. That's right, 4 leads. They look to bounce back tomorrow against the Blackhawks. Make sure you tune in tonight at 6 p.m. for Draft Lines with Devon Gibbons as Jamie Lynch as they get you ready for Sixers Cavs. Keep it locked to The Fanatic all day for breaking news and information. I'm Tom Alvord, and you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic.
It's the Cuz. Anthony Gargano. Weekdays 10 to 2 on 97.5 The Fanatic.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, unleashes the spirit of Las Vegas with BetMGM rewards. Every time you make a wager at BetMGM, you can earn BetMGM rewards points that can be redeemed for online bonus credits like free bets and risk-free tokens. Planning a trip to Vegas? You can also convert your BetMGM points into MGM rewards points that you can use towards dining, shows, and even hotel rooms at over 20 MGM resort properties located on the Las Vegas Strip and nationwide. BetMGM Rewards is sports betting's premier loyalty program, featuring exclusive offers, incredible experiences, and valuable perks when you wager on the BetMGM app. Sign up with BetMGM or log on today to get an even bigger piece of the action with BetMGM Rewards. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. New Jersey and Pennsylvania only. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem, help is available. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Are you one of the millions of homeowners who haven't refinanced yet? If so, I'm here to tell you it's not too late. Hi, I'm Wesley Hogan with Westland Financial. Although the lowest rates may be in our rearview mirror, as the economy recovers from the biggest economic shock of our lifetime, rates still remain near historic lows. In fact, with the dramatic increase in home values, this may be the perfect time to put that new home equity to work. Take advantage of our cash-out refi program and pay off high-rate credit cards, car loans, or other high-interest rate debt. Or finally make those home improvements you put on hold for so long. Best of all, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right. Whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we'll pay for your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. So call Westland at 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. 888-455-3669.
Westland Financial Corp is licensed by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Banking. NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Come on, one more rep. You got this. 10. There it is. Nice work, man. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The big hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text ENERGY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help get you back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text ENERGY to 321-321. That's ENERGY to 321-321.
If the best part of your workday is spent listening to us on your drive to work and back, maybe it's time your workday was spent somewhere else. Many of the companies you hear advertising on The Fanatic are hiring talented, hardworking people just like you. Visit the Fanatic job board at 975thefanatic.com/now-hiring for links to career opportunities with our partners.
DryTech Waterproofing Solutions is looking for qualified professionals to join our close-knit team. Our sales professionals enjoy competitive compensation, weekly paychecks, and absolutely no cold calling. We'll give you the training to be successful. Call today, 1-888-537-9832, or go to drytechcorp.com. You want to make green? You gotta think green. Start your driver or technician career with Waste Management. $7,500 sign-on bonus. Paid college tuition. Apply online at careers.wm.com.
These are just a few of our advertisers now hiring. Check out the full list at 975thefanatic.com/now-hiring. We love working with these companies, and we're sure you will too.
Relationships run hot and cold. No matter how hard you try to compromise, sometimes things are just out of your control, like the TV remote and the thermostat. Fortunately, your independent Delaware Valley trained comfort specialist can provide you with a new high-efficiency heating and cooling system with whole-house air filtration, so you'll always have even, consistent heat throughout your home, along with cleaner, healthier air. You'll save money and maybe even your relationship. Visit Trane.com to find a Delaware Valley independent train comfort specialist near you. It's hard to stop a train.
Pennsylvania is one of the top 10 states with the highest percentage of speeding-related fatalities. Speeding reduces a driver's ability to react to changing traffic or road conditions. It puts you, your passengers, and others on the road at risk. Speed limits are designed to protect everyone. Be alert, watch for speed limit signs, and obey those signs. Slow down, save a life. Be safe, PA.
Learn more at pendot.pa.gov/safety. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Do you have taxiety? That uncertain feeling before doing your taxes? Filing on your own or choosing the wrong partner can be stressful. Connect with Liberty Tax and then just breathe in and cash out.
Get your largest possible refund or your money back.
Now, repeat.
Visit StopTaxiety.com to schedule your appointment and say farewell to the stress of tax season. Liberty Tax. Let's end taxiety. At participating locations, terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house, country, techno, or techno-country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
When it comes to cybersecurity, the biggest threats don't always strike the biggest targets. So help safeguard your small business with Comcast Business Security Edge. It's advanced security that continuously scans for threats and helps protect every connected device on the largest, fastest, reliable network with speeds up to 10 gigs to the most small businesses. So switch today and get cutting-edge speed with advanced security and be ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Comcast Business Internet required. Other restrictions apply.
WPEN, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. home of 76ers basketball and Flyers hockey.
Plug in.
97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
11 o'clock, 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Andrew Salchunas. Yeah, a little different. Anthony's not in today, but I see my man Nick Geiger on the YouTube chat saying play the song. So here you go, Nick.
Get excited.
It's a little different. It's weird for me to scream Chunas play the song because
it doesn't work the same.
Yeah, it doesn't. So it's a little different on days when I'm filling in. I love hearing the song, but it's just like I can't. I don't know. I think that's Anthony's thing to scream it. You know what I mean?
And Chunas is a lot more fun to say than Tom.
No, I like Tom.
Well, thank you. But Chunas, I don't know, it just rolls off the tongue better. Tom's just like,
Do you like hearing Tommy? Or are you like anti-Tommy?
It's funny because Ant calls me Tommy all the time. And, I love that.
He also calls Dan Fritz buddy. And I'm pretty sure they're the same age.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, probably are very similar.
Yeah.
I always say my good friends call me Tommy. I feel like Tommy sounds more like
But Tommy play the song.
It's a little bit better.
That's better than Tom play the song.
I think you're right. But it's still not as good as Chunas, though.
Okay. But I think Tommy play the song works. So, I just figured I'd throw that out there.
We'll
but
see
yeah.
what happens.
So for Nick and now Brandon wants to play the song, but we'll leave it at the one time coming out of the break there. But thank you for watching on YouTube. I appreciate it. Thank you everybody who's tweeted in and everybody who's on hold right now. I'll get to the calls in a second. But I do want to inform you that there is something going on in the NFL right now. It looks like per Adam Schefter and others now that the Cowboys are likely to release Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is owed $20 million coming up, so it looks like they could move on from Amari Cooper. Listen, I would take him. I don't know what the price tag is for an Amari Cooper. I like Quez Watkins, not as much as Anthony, but more than others. Like I think Quez Watkins is a legitimate deep threat, and he's a guy that can literally run every route on the route tree. I think people think that Quez Watkins is just a go downfield kind of guy. I saw him run a lot of different routes in the route tree this year. I saw him make contested catches, which I did not expect at all. I didn't think that Quez Watkins would be a big body receiver that could make contested catches, but he made them this season, which surprised me. So I think he's still a good option to have, obviously. But if you could bring in an Amari Cooper, again, I don't know what the price tag is. And, you look at what's going on with this Eagles team. Where are they? Are they a team that's going to bring in Amari Cooper? But you don't have to trade for him. You'll be able to sign him. So let's see what the price tag is. But that's the latest in the NFL right now. Cowboys expected to release Amari Cooper. Obviously, if you want to talk about it, 610-632-0975. That is the number to climb in. We do have some Eagles talk that is coming your way later on the show in the 12 o'clock hour because the Combine is going on. There's some ridiculous 40 times that are happening right now. And, of course, the general manager and head coach continue to back Jalen Hurts as the quarterback moving forward. So we will talk about that later on today because I still think that he's not the guy. And I think as the offseason goes on and the less chances that a Russell Wilson is traded here or the less chances that they draft a quarterback, I think there are going to be people that talk themselves into Jalen Hurts being a legitimate quarterback in the NFL. I think that's going to happen. It happens every single year with every single team. We talk ourselves into higher expectations, which is the part about being a fan, right? Like, that's the fun. So I'm not going to rip anybody for it. I'm just telling you, I don't think Jalen Hurts is the guy. But maybe if you bring in Amari Cooper, and now he has Cooper and Devontae Smith and that offensive line in front of him, we can get even more of an answer of who Jalen Hurts is as a quarterback in the NFL. But before I get to the phones, want to read the poll of the day. Poll of the day brought to us by Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning is open and able to assist you with any emergency service and replacement needs, including installation of air scrubbers and other air quality products. Visit marvinecans.com. This on the Midday account, 975 Middays. Is it considered pom-pom waving if you think the Sixers are going to the NBA Finals? There are three options. The first one, obviously, is yes, take it easy. The second one is no, they are going. The third, I have to put that out there because that's how I'm feeling. It's not pom-pom waving, but I'm trying to wait to see them get to the Eastern Conference Finals first. That is leading the vote. That is 56% of the vote. No, they are going is 29% of the vote. So that's where like Anthony and Tyrone are at. Like, it's not pom-pom waving. They legitimately think they can go to the NBA Finals. And I do too. Let me see them get to the Eastern Conference Finals first. And then, yes, take it easy is at 15% of the vote. That's John. And that's what started this conversation today when I heard John Kincaid this morning claim that Anthony and Tyrone are kind of waving pom-poms, thinking that they can go to the NBA Finals already after 3 games. I don't think that's fair. As I said, it struck a chord a little bit because I love seeing the excitement from Anthony, from Tyrone, from everybody who have called in. Our man, the Fink, called in yesterday, asked us when's the next game they lose. I don't think it's this year, right? Like, it's part of the fun, but nobody is saying it like Tony Roten's the new point guard here. Like, it's James Harden coming into an already good team with the MVP of the league. It's not like James Harden is, just coming in with a bunch of players. Joel Embiid is the MVP of the league. As I said, we don't see trades like this. This is a baseball trade deadline move where you make a trade for a Cliff Lee to your already pretty damn good team. I didn't like the Hunter Pence trade, but I understood why a lot of people did. You already had a very good team, and you brought in an all-star right fielder. This is a lot of these trades in baseball. You see guys get traded, top talent get traded to teams that are already first or second place of their division. That's what you saw at the trade deadline. You saw an MLB hot stove-like trade, James Harden coming here to Philadelphia, which is why I don't think it's pom-pom waving if you believe the Sixers are going to the NBA Finals. 610-632-0975. Let's go to Chuck in Southwest. Chuck, you're on the Fanatic.
Hey, what's going on there?
What's up, Chuck?
Hey, so what I wanted to say real quick was just that I felt like, I'm just like, I get it. To be a Philadelphia fan is to know suffering.
Yes.
So that is why you have a lot of people who are like, oh, don't get so excited yet. It's just 3 games. You guys have played the worst teams. Let me tell you something. As someone who is a Eagles fan and a Phillies fan, I've never inherently been a Sixers fan. I was born in 88, grew up through the 90s. I saw Michael Jordan. The Bulls have always been my favorite team. However, I've always been an Iverson fan. And I've never actively rooted against Philadelphia. And I've lived in the city for 3 years, man. Let me tell you something. I love what I'm seeing. I work at Franklin Mills, so nice. I love what I'm seeing.
Oh, you're seeing Sixers gear. Sixers gear is off the charts right now.
Everywhere you feel it in the air, bro. Like ever since Harden got here, it's just been different. And like it's like, can you blame people for having some hope? Like, don't they always tell you speak things into existence?
Yes.
Go into the job thinking like this is what I'm going to get. I'm walking out of here with this job.
Yes.
So why can't we all, as a fan base, Philadelphia fan base, regardless of who you root for, go, we're winning the finals.
I don't get it. And Chuck, it's not like you're speaking it into existence like it was the process days, right? Like, exactly. Tony Roten and Nick Stauskas are going to bring us to the NBA Finals. Like, no, this is a legitimate team. And, I mean, listen, you're coming from a different perspective because you're a Bulls fan. I appreciate that you've never rooted against the Sixers. But, I mean, there are people that are, I believe they're diehard Sixers fans. I think they're diehard NBA fans, even though they probably haven't watched James Harden because they thought he was broken before he came here. Yeah. But you see him step in, and it has looked flawless. Forget who they're playing. Just look at what the Sixers themselves have done. Out of 12 quarters, I believe that 10 of them have been damn near flawless.
Remember that Philly was Harden's first choice.
Yeah.
And he ended up going to Brooklyn. Now, if I told you, hey, you want to work at this job, but I can only give you 15, but another job is going to offer you 25, i.e. KD and Kyrie, you're not going to sit there and say no to the job that's going to pay you.
Well, it's not that he picked Brooklyn because of money. It's because Houston, I appreciate the call, Chuck, Houston out of spite didn't trade James Harden to Philadelphia. James Harden's decision was not Brooklyn. James Harden, like you said, wanted to come to Philadelphia from the very beginning, but it was because Houston had beef with Daryl Morey. They, out of spite, did not trade with Daryl Morey, and they could have acquired Ben Simmons, who, let's face it, is still an okay basketball player when he wants to play. Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, who nobody wanted to give up for James Harden in Brooklyn, and Tyrese Maxey. They could have had Tyrese Maxey, man.
Yeah, that's an all-time screw-up job by Houston's
out of
GM.
spite.
Out of spite, yeah. It's stupid.
It's not because
petty.
they thought, oh, this isn't worth it for us. It was straight up pettiness.
Yeah, I don't care about making my team much better. I don't want to deal with their
Dude, they got Victor Oladipo. Like, that was their trade.
Who's on his, third team now in 2 years?
Yeah.
Like, it's something like that.
It's crazy. I mean, it worked out perfectly for the Sixers. Think about it. I'll ask you, this is such a dumb question, but it's like, I need people, this needs to go through some people's minds.
Can't wait.
Would you rather have traded Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, and Tyrese Maxey, or Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and Andre Drummond?
I'm going to go with option 2, Andrew.
Yes, because that's basically what it was. Because they could have traded Ben, Matisse, and Tyrese and picks, like the picks they traded away for Harden now. That would have been the compensation had they made the trade with Houston, but out of spite, they didn't. We would have been freaking out if we watched Tyrese Maxey excel the way that he is now with the Houston Rockets. But he's excelling here, and all you had to trade was a backup big who was a free agent at the end of the season, Seth Curry, who you have like 4 other guys that can shoot threes on this team, and I am guaranteeing you they will eventually start to fall. Maybe not for Korkmaz because he stinks. But, you have other guys that can hit the 3. And, oh, by the way, so can James Harden. 610-632-0975. It's 11:11. Time for some morning thoughts.
Wake up, Philadelphia!
No! God, please, no! No!
Time now for Morning Thoughts.
Hey, lady! Shut up! Will you just shut your trap? Shut up! Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God!
Yo, cuz, what were you thinking about this morning?
Well, I will give you the coffee power move that I teased going into the last break that I did this morning. But first, I just need it's for everybody out there that says you guys don't talk Flyers and blah, blah, blah. My man, Raider Frank, I know you're listening, Raider Frank. And I saw a tweet that you put out the other day. You listen to one station, all they're talking about is the Eagles. You listen to this station, all they're talking about is the Sixers.
I saw that tweet too.
How come you're never talking Flyers? I try to, right? But sometimes I'm about to vomit when I talk about the Flyers. I had a field day when they had that press conference with Dave Scott and Chuck Fletcher. And it's hilarious to me now. It's become like funny that Dave Scott believed the attendance was low, not because of the 16, 28, and 10 record that the Flyers currently have. Now, at the time, it wasn't as bad, but it was pretty bad. What was it, the second 10-game losing streak when they had that press conference? Yeah. Think about this for a second. They have 28 regulation losses. They have 2 20-game losing streaks. Like, that's pretty bad. All right.
It's not good.
Dave Scott said that the attendance was low in Philadelphia because of the awful COVID regulations that Philadelphia has. Now, listen, I know people have different opinions when it comes to vaccines, masks, regulations, you name it. But no matter what the hell you think, when it comes to science, when it comes to who's telling you what, no matter what you think, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, you don't follow politics, which you're a lot happier if you do. Hello? I don't care who you are. We can all agree that the Flyers just suck. They are terrible. And it's not that, oh my God, the COVID restrictions, that's why I'm not going to the games. No, you weren't going to the games because they sucked. So now, you no longer have to show a vaccination card when you go to the Flyers games. And for the people that are bothered by the masks, as of Wednesday, you don't have to wear masks at the Wells Fargo Center anymore. So when I heard that, I expected it to be a sold-out crowd last night against the Minnesota Wild because that's what Dave Scott told me, that the attendance was down because of the COVID restrictions. No, there was about, 15 people there last night for another loss, 5-4 loss to the Minnesota Wild. I'll give them credit for putting up 4 goals. But what do you know? They blew another lead. Tom, it's sad right now. And I would love for the Flyers to be good because you know how much fun it would be right now that on off nights for the Sixers, you're watching a Flyers team compete for a playoff spot. No, they're competing for not coming in dead last at this point. It's just sad, man.
Yeah, they're embarrassing, and I had the luxury of cutting the game last night and doing audio, and that was fun.
Yeah, the most fun you had was that Coatsy cut.
Yeah, it was, actually. They blew 4 separate leads last night, Andrew. Carter Hart, he's been pretty solid all year despite the defense being Swiss cheese in front of him.
Yep.
Everything going on around him. He did not have a good game last night. He had 15 turnovers. This is from Jordan Hall, who's NBCS Philly. After starting 6-2-2, the Flyers have lost 34 of their last 44 games. 10, 26, and 8. That's not good, and that's the reason.
Thank God we don't have to wear masks anymore at the games.
That'll show. That will be full.
We'll start showing up. What are you thinking about this morning, Tom?
This morning, so Andrew, you sleep, right? Every now and then?
Sometimes.
I know you're a busy guy.
I'll explain part of my coffee power move today is because of a lack of sleep, but go on.
There you go. And I assume when you do sleep, sometimes it's in a bed, correct?
Yes.
So this morning, my first thought is, why is my head hanging off of the bed?
Okay.
And my head is hanging off of the bed because I have a queen bed at the house. It's nice.
Okay.
It's fine.
So do
I
we.
sleep with my girlfriend.
Nice.
And we just recently got a puppy about like 4 months ago or so.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't say no to that thing.
Yep.
So the puppy sleeps right in between us.
Yep.
And next thing I know, it's, 7:15 a.m. when I'm waking up this morning, and my head is off of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I bite the bullet and go for the king size? Do I spend all that money, or do I just start telling the dog, hey, it's time. You got to start sleeping
listen,
because I don't want to say it to her.
We have a queen size bed we've had since we got the puppy. She is now a dog. She's not a puppy anymore, even though she acts like one. And we still survive. Now, it's going to be a little bit harder, coming up soon. There's also going to be a baby on the way, so
that could be tough.
Things will change a little bit more there. I think you'll be fine. Like you, I couldn't say no to that dog. How many nights has the dog slept with you?
Oh, it's every night.
Yeah, but when'd you get the dog?
About 4 months ago, I'd say. So probably 3 months because the first month.
What kind of dog?
It's a mutt. It's a mix like Jack Russell.
Yeah,
it's like 35 pounds. Not even a big dog.
Is that the max? Or is it growing?
Yeah, maybe a couple more pounds.
Okay, because my dog's 40 pounds, so she's
about the same.
She's like a mid-sized dog.
Yeah.
And we still deal with it. And listen, I get kicked every single night. I get woken up every single night. But I love that dog.
It's so worth it. I know.
So, we may or may not be moving soon. So we may get a bigger bed for the move. Like it might be the adult purchase. But I've had the dog for 4 years now. We still haven't done that purchase. So good luck to you, man.
I really want to.
You're just 4 months in and you're already thinking about it.
And it's just, and I can't stop them now.
No, we tried having her sleep in the crate the first 2 days. She cried she whined in the crate for 2 nights. Christy was working nights at the time. So her first day of work, I said, you know what, screw this. I brought the dog into bed with me. She fell asleep. It was the cutest thing in the world.
Hasn't cried since, right?
Doesn't cry.
Yep.
Nope. So I was like, all right, this is my life now. This dog is sleeping in bed with me for the rest of our great lives together.
Just got to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you just deal with it, but eventually if you want to splurge on the king-size bed, might work, but I'm telling you right now, no matter where I'm at, that dog is on me. Right? I will tell you, recently at our baby moon, we stayed in an Airbnb that had a king-size bed. That dog was right on me.
Yeah, it could be a California king.
So you might still get that king bed and might still have your head off the bed. I'm warning you now. Last thing for me, the coffee power move. And I relate this to Michael Scott and the bacon. So the last couple of nights have been late. State of the Union address was Tuesday. I'm not really big into politics, but there's a lot of crap going on in the world right now that I was like, all right, I should probably watch this. Like, I feel like I should watch this. Help that I was playing 2K. So I watched it, stayed up for it, and I'm not somebody, it's crazy. There are people, I know people that could close their eyes and they're out. I can't do that.
Nah, me either.
So for me, State of the Union address ended after 11 o'clock. I then stayed up till like 12:30 because like my mind's racing. It's going crazy. And then I finally fell asleep probably around 1 o'clock. I think I finally went to bed around 12:30, fell asleep around 1. Obviously woke up exhausted. I helped my wife in the morning. She's not moving all that great right now, being 31 weeks pregnant. So I try to help her out in the morning, whether it's just, take care of her breakfast and stuff because she's moving a lot slower right now, as I can imagine. So I try to help her out. So 6:30, I've been trying to stay up because my commute may be longer sometime soon. So let me try to get used to this. And then we had knockout. And so that was a late night. So back-to-back late nights and back-to-back early mornings. So last night, it was like 9:30. Dude, I was exhausted. I was like, man, it's been a long last couple of days. I've been doing a lot of stuff around both houses, right? And I wake up this morning to help her out. And dude, I was so tired. at 6:30. She left the house at 6:30. I was like, you know what? I want to go back to sleep. But I had already poured my cup of coffee into the mug. So what I did was I poured it into this container. Now, these containers are like heaven. They keep a cup of coffee hot for hours. So this morning, I filled this up and brought an empty mug up with me so that when my 7:30 alarm went off, I laid in bed and poured this into the mug, and it was still piping hot.
It was still piping hot. It wasn't just warm.
It was hot.
That's awesome.
So like Michael Scott in The Office, who would put bacon on his George Foreman grill so he could smell fresh bacon as he's waking up in the morning, I had a fresh cup of coffee next to me, as if an angel brought it up the steps and put it on the nightstand next to me. I had a piping fresh hot cup of coffee, poured it into the mug, and sipped it while watching YouTube. I did my Wordle this morning. I did all that kind of stuff. Now, Christy is still pregnant and will be, and it's going to change. Once the baby's around, we're going to be up and at 'em. But when she leaves for work, I have the house to myself until I leave around like 8 o'clock. I think I'm going to be doing. I think this is a new move for me.
No, that is a big-time power move. That was not what I was expecting. I was expecting, I went down and microwaved it, and it was still hot.
No.
This is it's literally like Michael Scott and a lot safer.
Yeah, I'm not going to be burning my feet. So I want to know if anybody has ever else done this. I can't imagine that somebody's done that. Like, it's weird that I did it, but it worked out so perfectly that I'm going to continue to do it. And I want to know, are other people intrigued enough to now try it? Now, a lot of people get up and leave, like they get ready for their day. I had like an hour before I had to get ready, so I decided to just close my eyes and fall back asleep because of how tired I was. Is that something you would try if you had the extra hour to kind of fall back asleep? Now, I have a different situation right now. My wife's pregnant. But would you do something like that?
I would, yeah. And I'm not really a big coffee guy. I might have one once every couple months. But I'm sure, down the road if kids are available, I'll probably have to get available. If kids are, I'll probably have to start getting into it, especially, I'm working later nights here sometimes. But yeah, that is an all-time power move. I might go out of my way to try
Dude, it changed the game for me this morning.
That's a great idea.
And until the baby is here, until baby Tunis is here, I'm going to do that from here on out.
And you should.
And
you
it was just
invented something.
It was just great. Like it's one step away from actually bringing the coffee pot up into the room and just brewing it in.
That's the next step, but it's you're cutting out the middleman.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. It's fantastic. So if anybody else is intrigued, let me know. 610-632-0975, the number to get in. We will continue the conversation about the Sixers. Keith Pompey will join the show at 11:40. So next segment, we'll take a couple calls, and then we'll go to Keith Pompey to continue the Sixers conversation. As I mentioned earlier in the 12 o'clock hour, we will get into some Eagles talk. Amari Cooper is expected to be released per Adam Schefter by the Dallas Cowboys, and I know there's a lot of people already intrigued by the idea of Cooper becoming a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, let me tell you about something that's awesome coming up. It's in 6 days. Day one is in 6 days. If you're looking to get engaged, you can't miss the Family Company Jewelers Viraggio Trunk Show. It's happening March 10th. That's a Thursday, and also the 11th and 12th. So it's a 3-day trunk show going on. You get to see the largest selection of Viraggio rings in the area and save hundreds, maybe even thousands on the ring of her dreams. You get to preview brand new styles and settings and have Viraggio custom design a ring just for you. Now, I've been telling you about Family Company Jewelers for a while now. That's where I went and got the engagement rings. That's where I got our wedding bands. I've gotten anniversary gifts there. I've sent my parents there to get an anniversary gift. I know a couple of buddies of mine who went to Family Company Jewelers to purchase their engagement ring. So Family Company Jewelers has been a large part of my life over the last couple of years, but this is really cool. Angelo, he's great, but you get to also go to see the Viraggio Trunk Show, and they can custom design a ring for you. Family & Company is your bridal headquarters with the largest selection of diamonds and the best prices and best service around. Just take a look at their reviews online, and you'll see what I'm talking about. They have almost 2,000 5-star reviews. I'm one of them, and been helping people out like me get the right ring for over 80 years. Trust me, if you want to get an amazing designer ring at a fraction of the designer price, you need to get to the Viraggio Trunk Show. It's coming up. Visit their showroom on Route 70, Marlton, New Jersey, March 10th through the 12th, and save big at the Viraggio Trunk Show. And if you can't make it in store, you can always shop online at FamilyJewelers.com. Just another reason that Family Company Jewelers is South Jersey's diamond destination.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers back in action tonight. I'm Tom Alvord, and this update is brought to you by Ozzy.com. Get smarter every day at Ozzy.com. Try a new news site that tells you about the most interesting people, places, and ideas. Try Ozzy.com now. Ozzy, it's a latte for your mind. Yes, James Harden and the Philadelphia 76ers will be looking for their fourth straight win since the All-Star break tonight in Philadelphia against the Cavaliers. Philadelphia comes into the game just 2.5 games back of the Miami Heat for first place in the Eastern Conference with 21 games remaining on the season. The Sixers last faced the Cavs 3 weeks ago where they won 103-93 despite not having James Harden due to a hamstring injury. They look to have a similar outcome tonight, and you can listen to that game right here on The Fanatic. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock. In other Sixers news, the team announced they've signed veteran center DeAndre Jordan to a deal for the remainder of the season. The 33-year-old former All-Star averaged just over 4 points and 5 rebounds in 32 games for the Lakers this season, playing about 12 minutes a game. The Sixers also announced they will release Willie Cauley-Stein to make room for Jordan. Cauley-Stein played a total of 5 minutes as a 76er. And the Flyers lose another one, falling to the Minnesota Wild 5-4. It's their 8th loss in the last 9 games. They look to bounce back tomorrow against the Blackhawks. Make sure you tune in tonight at 6 p.m. for Draft Lines with DeBon Gibbons and Jamie Lynch as they get you ready for Sixers Cavs. Keep it locked to the Fanatic all day for breaking news and information. I'm Tom Alvord, and you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic.
Anthony Gargano, weekdays 10 to 2 on 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic Philadelphia celebrates Women in History Month with Women in Philadelphia Sports. Brought to you by the Philly Pretzel Factory.
Carly Lloyd, born and raised in Delran, New Jersey. She is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in soccer, a 2-time FIFA Women's World Cup champion, a 2-time FIFA Player of the Year, and a 4-time Olympian. She retired in 2021 after the Summer Olympics.
Women in History Month is proudly supported by the Philly Pretzel Factory, the official soft pretzel of the Philly sports fan.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, welcomes you with a special offer on the NBA. I'm Derek Gunn, and simply place a $10 moneyline wager on any game. Now, if either team hits a three-pointer, you'll win $200 in free bets, regardless of your bet's outcome. Just use bonus code DGUN200 when you make your first bet. You'll also earn BetMGM rewards points that you can redeem for room nights and dining at MGM resorts nationwide. BetMGM is proud to be an authorized gaming partner of the NBA. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code DGUN200 to win $200 in free bets if a three-pointer is made in the game you wager on. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. New Jersey and Pennsylvania only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're planning on hiring a lawn care service, doesn't it make sense to hire a company that provides better results and is safer for your family and pets? Well, that's why I chose Natural Lawn of America. That's my lawn care company. Natural Lawn's been creating green lawns quickly, more naturally, and with fewer weeds since 1987. And Natural Lawn isn't your cookie-cutter lawn care service. Their certified specialists tailor their applications to your lawn-specific need. This unique approach has reduced pesticide use by 85%, creating a safer lawn for your family and pets to enjoy. Locally owned and family-operated right here in the Delaware Valley. Stop compromising your safety. It's time you get the results you want and the peace of mind you deserve. Take advantage of Natural Lawn's limited time offer. Free seeding every year. Schedule Natural Lawn's full service program and you'll get free seeding every year. Just call this number, 800-FREE-SEED. That's 800-FREESEED. Choose my lawn care company. It's Natural Lawn of America. Greener grass, fewer weeds. Guaranteed.
Have you been lied to? Lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Richard Cohen from right here in South Jersey in the Philadelphia area. And I want to give you a free copy of my new book, Wall Street's Retirement Plans and 401ks Have Failed Millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I said, enough. I've discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically. And when the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Reliable Financial now to get a free copy of my book and talk to me personally to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits. Call 1-800-605-9191 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney used to grow wealthy. And I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-605-9191. That's 1-800 1-800-605-9191. Again, 1-800-605-9191.
Attention. As of July 1st, 2021, the Department of Labor has been enforcing a brand new law that affects all construction contractors. Delaware's Contractor Registration Act regulates worker misclassification, ensures contractors have a fair bidding environment, and all workers receive benefits required by law. All contractors, including sole proprietors, limited liability companies, and all corporations and partnerships performing or planning to perform construction services or maintenance work, are required to submit an application for the Delaware Department of Labor's review to obtain a certificate prior to starting construction services or maintenance work throughout the state. This requirement includes residential and commercial contractors and all contractors performing work on public projects. Contractors who receive a certificate will be listed on a public portal as compliant, which can be used to verify if a contractor is approved. If the Department of Labor determines that a contractor is performing construction services or maintenance work in the state without a certificate, they may face a civil penalty up to $85,000 per violation. For more information and to register, visit delaware.onestop.gov.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? Well, there is a nice piece of stock music playing behind me that a talented composer worked really hard on. So let's enjoy it. Wow, almost overshadows the saving big when you switch to Progressive part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The Birds have 3 first-round draft picks, so guess what? We're going to be there, and you're coming too. Go to Philly Sports Trips right now. Reserve your space to party with us in Las Vegas for the NFL Draft. We're staying at Planet Hollywood, right across from the Bellagio Fountains, where they're holding the draft itself. Philly Sports Trips has the parties all lined up for us, so book right now with your deposit at phillysportstrips.com. You're going to want to be there partying with the John Kincaid Show and the Fanatic for this momentous draft. It's phillysportstrips.com. Come on, grab your friends. We'll see you there.
The Philly Auto Show is back, refueled, recharged. March 5th through the 13th, visit PhillyAutoShow.com. Proudly sponsored by NJM Insurance Group.
Sometimes it seems the only thing people can agree on is to disagree. If you're tired of wasting time fighting over the thermostat, it's time you looked at a new high-efficiency heating and cooling system with whole-house air filtration from your Delaware Valley trained comfort specialist. These new trained systems provide even, consistent heat throughout your home, along with cleaner, healthier air. For comfort and savings everyone can agree on. Visit Train.com to find a Delaware Valley independent trained comfort specialist near you. It's hard to stop a train.
Hello? Whether you're at home or on the go, listen to 97.5 The Fanatic on Odyssey on your smartphone, Roku, LG Smart TV, Waze, and more. That's Odyssey, AUDACY. Check it out now. More of the Anthony Gargano Show now.
On 97.5 The Fanatic.
11:32, 97.5 The Fanatic, 11 o'clock hour, brought to you by Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. Coming up in about 8 minutes, Keith Pompey will join the show. Keith's been covering the Sixers for a long time. And listen, I know he's a journalist, he's a reporter, he's not a fan, but I will ask him what the feel is now for him, because I keep on saying Tom McGinnis, there's nobody I'm more happy for than Tom McGinnis right now, because Tom McGinnis had to do play-by-play for the most random Sixers players for years, right?
You had to cover slop.
Yeah. And you hear his voice in the last couple of nights of broadcast. Now, listen, he had a lot of fun last year, too, right? Like, he had the Sixers were the 1 seed going into the playoffs, but like James Harden's a different vibe, man. And so I'm happy for Tom. He's obviously having a great time. So I wonder what it's like covering this team, because, you know, all those stories that, you know, Bob Cooney was with the Daily News, Keith, all these stories they had to write about, will Joel Embiid play or not? Will Dario Saric come over or not? Like, all those stories that they had to write because they had to hit a deadline. I'm sure it's a lot easier right now, and there's been great quotes coming out of James Harden, great quotes from Tyrese and from Embiid. Embiid the other night saying he's never been so open in his life. So that's really cool. So I'm excited to talk to Keith about it and the prospects of the back-to-back Sixers in action tonight, 7 o'clock against the Cavs. 610-632-0975 is the number to get in. The answer on the YouTube chat, yes, I do drink hot coffee. It's like one of the few things I'll do hot. You know, I do like an
cold soup.
Like I like an iced coffee. Yes, I did have a hot soup the other day. Christy and I were on the baby moon, so I got a clam chowder.
That's good. That's ideal.
Some restaurant that was very, very good. So like, listen, I eat hot food every once in a while, but I'm just telling you, like the next day, like I got a salmon at a restaurant the other day, and I ate half of it, brought the other half home, and ate it.
And you ate it cold.
Right out of fridge the next day.
That's ridiculous.
With the rice that it came with. That's cold.
You're a different kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
But yes, I do drink hot coffee. Now I will tell you, this cup has been sitting here for like 3 hours. So this has become lukewarm, and it doesn't bother me. I will drink this. Like, I have no problem with it.
Lukewarm, like you're starting to taste, and it's just like this doesn't.
It's starting to taste cold.
It's getting colder.
Yeah. So like you'll at the end of each show, if I have anything left in here, because I just put everything back in my man purse JanSport backpack. If there's like a sip left, I don't want to put it in there with liquid, so I will throw it back, and it's like cold at that point.
That's gross. I couldn't do that.
I don't really care. Where's he at? Geiger checks in. He'll just drink the cold coffee, cold or room temperature. Zero mother fathers about the coffee temp. So he's with me, which is cool.
I know some people are not picky when it comes to their coffee because they just need the caffeine that is in there. That's all that really matters at that point.
Yeah.
Like it could be powder and they would eat it.
Peter checks in. He's with me on the coffee power move. His daughter bought him a Stay Hot mug. He forgets the brand name. And a decanting, piping hot coffee with porcelain mug is heaven. Next level, add a shot of Irish whiskey and enjoy the internal warmth. Now, I'm not going to do that before I come into work.
That's what I thought the initial power move was.
No, because that would be a problem. That's a problem.
Probably illegal, too, I would think.
Not right now. Well, the driving part would be. Right now, I am. If I were to have a drink in my hand, I could. You could not.
Really?
Board op legally is not allowed to drink on the air.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Or drink while operating the board op. So, like, there was one day, it was like a Friday in the summer last year, where my man Todd DeFeo, who does a great job with our promotions team, a lot of you probably spoke to Todd if you went to Knockout the other day. Todd brought us down 2 beers from the promotion closet, and Anthony was allowed to drink his during the final segment. I had to wait until 2 o'clock to drink mine.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Legally obligated. Let's go to Lynn. It's okay. I'll be all right.
If you say so.
I'll be all right.
Seem concerned.
Let's go to Lynn in North Jersey. Lynn, you're on the Fanatic.
Hey there. How you doing?
Great, Lynn. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Real quick, Tunis, good luck to you and Christy with the birth and the baby.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Tom, I agree with Tunis. The dog will figure out how to take up as much space as possible.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how big your bed is. The dog will curl up with you because the dog loves you.
Yeah, I had a cat, and she was 14 pounds, and she could stretch out like a Bengal tiger when she wanted to. So,
awesome.
They will figure out how to take up as much space as possible.
That's fair.
James Harden.
Yes.
Okay. I have 2 older sisters. One lives outside of Philly, one in California. We're all big sports fans, Philly sports fans, but they don't pay attention as much as I do.
Mm-hmm.
When I texted them that we traded for James Harden, they lost their minds. They were like, I don't even follow basketball, and I know that's a big deal. Like, they followed it sort of.
Yeah.
They knew it was a big deal. I live out of market, so I don't get to see the Sixers as much as I would like, but I got to see Wednesday night's game, and he looked amazing.
Oh, he looks fantastic. Oh, he's out of shape. He's cooked. Yeah.
Absolutely. On that no-look pass, I was like, that was nuts.
Yes.
That was mind-blowing.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, I keep on saying it. Ben Simmons was a great facilitator, but the fact that they also have to, respect his offensive game because Ben didn't have what Harden has, that makes him such a more elite passer. That one pass that he makes to Tyrese Maxey, who's in the corner, on the corner and then drives baseline. Harden does the step back move, and his guy goes to obviously try to block the shot, and the guy guarding Maxey went for a help defense, and all he did was then kick it over to Maxey, who then had an open lane to the rim. He just drove baseline. It was easy.
It was nuts. And the thing with BS,
and that's not the Knicks. That's not the T-Wolves. Like, no, that's James Harden. It doesn't matter who they're playing. That's going to continue.
I totally agree. And in the playoffs, they weren't even guarding Ben after a while because they knew he wasn't going to take the shot. They were just, he would run down. They knew he was going to positive sex.
That's why Embiid was double-teamed before he even got the ball with Ben.
Exactly. And as far as people getting their hearts broken, isn't that part of being a sports fan?
Yes.
Especially a Philly sports fan. Like, unless they're winning championships every year, you're going to get your heart broken. But it's so much better when they finally win.
Yeah, because I hate, like, a lot of it is, Lynn, it's the, people talk down and they go, well, if they win, I'll be more surprised, which will make me more happy. But that also means that you did not enjoy the ride leading up to it.
Exactly. And as far as the ride, like, we have the union getting started. Hopefully they do well.
Mm-hmm.
We're worried about how badly Howie's going to mess up the draft.
Yep.
We have no idea when we're going to have the Phillies.
So let's just enjoy the Sixers. Yeah, the Flyers are a mess. It's not COVID restrictions why nobody's going. Lynn, I appreciate the call. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's funny that she brought up that her sisters aren't that big of fans because we do have a topic that I'm going to bring up in the 1 o'clock hour. Maybe I'll bring it up even earlier. And it's about new fans, new listeners, people that are more intrigued now than they were before. And it's because of James Harden. So it's funny that Lynn brought that up. I'll explain it coming up because I saw somebody yesterday on our YouTube comment section that straight up said, hey, I'm a first-time listener. I'm not really even that big of a fan, but there's so much excitement around this team that I had to check it out. Love the show, blah, blah, blah. So I appreciate you for watching us on YouTube or listening on the app or on the radio. I appreciate all of that. But yeah, with James Harden comes new fans of the Sixers, and I'm all about it. Don't give me one of these. If you weren't here during this process, you can't be here now. Nah, man. The more fans we can get, the better. But now let's head to the Comcast Business Hotline. Comcast Business, every day in business is a big day. Let Comcast Business keep you ready for what's next. Of course, you can check out all of his work on The Inquirer. Follow him on Twitter, @Pompey on Sixers. That, of course, is Keith Pompey. Keith, how are you today, man?
I'm doing well. Yourself? How are you?
I'm doing great. Now, Keith, I talked about this before this, right when the segment started. Now, obviously, you're a different perspective because you're a journalist, you're a reporter for the team. You're not Tom McGinnis, who obviously tries to remain, as unbiased as possible. But obviously, there's a little excitement coming out of his voice, more excitement now with James Harden. But as a reporter, I want to ask you first. How much more enjoyable is it? Because you went through the process days, man. You wrote stories of, will Joel Embiid play? Will Dario Saric come over? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? Is Ben Simmons hurt just so he can win Rookie of the Year? All those stories you had to write. But now it's a little bit different, man, with James Harden. How is it?
Yeah, it's way different. I mean, it's funny that you brought that up because, we were after the game last night, we were talking about, a couple nights ago, we were in the media room talking about, we remember when you went in there and the storyline was how many points were they going to lose by tonight. It was like you knew it. You just knew that they were going to get blown. And then you have James Harden, one of the top players in the league, one of the top 75. So, right now it's one of those things, just like, the readers and the viewers, the listeners, everybody is excited. They want to see like what's going to happen. We want to see it too. We want to see like, hey, what are they going to do against Cleveland tonight? What are they going to do against Miami?
Right.
Things like that. So, yeah, there's a lot of excitement with the Sixers right now.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now, Keith, with all that excitement, there are still people that have a bunch of concerns. Now, this is the first time you and I are talking since the James Harden trade, so not exactly. I mean, I've been reading all your work, but I would like to know exactly where you're kind of thinking here. And I put together the list of the concerns that happened pre-trade, post-trade, but before Harden stepped on the court. And even so, after the 3 games, there are still people that have their doubts. There were the people that thought James Harden was cooked or that he's going to hurt the progression of Maxey or that it's not going to work the 2-man game with him and Embiid because he needs a Clint Capella type. There was concerns about Andre Drummond not being here anymore, Seth Curry not being here anymore. How is Tobias Harris going to fit? All kinds of concerns. But so far, they're 3-0. They're not flawless, but I would say out of 12 quarters, 10 of them have been damn near flawless. Keith, for the people that have those concerns, what would you say?
It's one of those things where, I'm not going to fault them for having concerns because it's one of those things where, it is a wait and see type of thing. Even if you're not going to learn anything after 3 games, especially, after the teams that they played, I actually expect them to win tonight. And if Miami, if like last night, Miami played without 3 starters, if that happens again, then you expect them to win in Miami, with this group. Now, the thing is, we have to be real with it. Like, let's talk about it. Maxey is playing a whole lot better than we expected, a lot of people, just because, and Doc Rivers was right, Maxey has gone back to his natural position, playing off the ball, being a combo guard. Now, if there's one concern that I have, it's Tobias Harris, right? Tobias hasn't looked as comfortable as he has before. He's missing some open shots. But then when you think about it, you think of when LeBron went to Miami and when, all these super teams formed, it took these guys a while to adjust. And so far, it seems as if Tobias Harris has been the only thing that still needs to adjust. So if that's it, then, I'm not concerned. I feel like, things are going to come together. Now, again, in regards to the backup, they did give up Drummond. They did give up Seth Curry, right? And I'm glad I didn't say Steph Curry because that's right.
It happens a lot. Yep.
So so they gave those two up. But when you look at it, when you get a guy of Harden's caliber, and I know that Ben was a 3-time All-Star, but we're talking about top 75 players.
Yep.
You have to give up something. You honestly do. So with that being said, to me, it's one of those things where I'm looking at it like, you know what? Yes, it would have been great to keep those two, but the stuff that Harden brings to the table, the stuff that Embiid brings to the table, you gave up something, but you're hoping and praying that it's going to work out. Because if you didn't give those guys up, you probably wouldn't have James Harden now, and people would still be talking about Ben Simmons and complaining about him.
Yeah, perfectly said, Keith. Now, barring injury, obviously, the starting five, I imagine, would remain the same the rest of the season, with Matisse Thybulle being the one guy that you kind of questioned whether or not he'd be the starter. I know there's a lot of people that thought maybe Tyrese should be coming off the bench. But I'll ask you, speaking of the bench, what do you expect? Who's going to get the most run? Obviously, there's going to be nights where one guy's hotter than the other. But I can't help but continue to just say how disappointed I am in Furkan Korkmaz shooting below 30% from three this year when that is his craft, is being a three-point shooter. Do you expect more run for guys like Danny Green, George Niang? Obviously, DeAndre Jordan, you pick up from the buyout market. He's going to be the guy, your backup big. But what kind of rotation do you expect as we get closer to the playoffs and then in the playoffs?
I would be shocked. I know that Doc, in the past, he had certain rotations where he played a lot of guys, typically in the playoffs. But, to me, if we're going with 8 guys, right? If we're going with 8 guys, I would have to say Danny Green will be in there. I would have to say that George Niang will be in there. Maybe a little bit of Shake Milton, maybe, and then, I think Drummond will get some minutes, right? So that's more than 8. That's 9 right there. Mm-hmm. I think he'll get, not Drummond, I'm talking about Andre Jordan. He'll get some minutes, but not a lot. Like, I think that we're going to see Embiid, if Embiid's in the shape that continues to be in this shape that he's in, I think we're going to continue to see Embiid and Harden logging a lot of minutes in the playoffs. So, I think that right then and there, those guys are guys I have to say would have to be sort of definite. And Danny's minutes, I think that will fluctuate. Like, I think that the starters are going to play a lot of minutes. They're going to stagger them with those guys that we talked about, And, like, I agree with you. Like, Furkan, he started off strong, right? I mean, everybody was saying, Furk has improved. Yeah. And then the problem with him is he's a little inconsistent. This last game, I think the fact that he only played 4 minutes was extremely telling, So I don't know if Furkan will, lose his spot to Isaiah Joe, or he just loses his spot. Like, he just maybe, they decide to go, with give Shake Milton more minutes.
Right. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, Keith. Now, last one for you. Of course, always check out Keith's stuff on the Philadelphia Inquirer. Follow him on Twitter at Pompey on Sixers. One of your latest stories was about James Harden and his fit with the Sixers. Now, I want to ask you, other than on the court, it seems like he's been such a great vocal leader already. Before he even played, remember there was the night where he told George Niang, stop dribbling and shoot 10 threes, and he ended up shooting 10 threes that night, went 5 of 10. He got on Tyrese Maxey at halftime against the Knicks saying, yo, man, are you showing up today? How much respect does a guy that James Harden get? Obviously, like you said, top 75 player all time. But what is his kind of dynamic off the court as well when it comes to being maybe a leader for some of these younger players?
I think, I don't really, the off-the-court aspect, I guess, James does what he does. And from what I hear, he's the type of guy, he's always been, especially young players, like, hey, he's been like a leader or a big brother to them, so to speak. But when we're not talking about basketball, the thing that really stood out to me was when he was in Milwaukee and he went on that trip. And basically, on the flight there, he was like, but y'all ain't playing cards? Come on, man, come on, everybody. We're going to play cards, that's right? Awesome. And then it's like, I remember Maxey was messing up, and he pulled him over to the side and demonstrated a play to him. And I'm like, yo, and all that stuff. So to me, it's like, who was it? It was one of the players, I forget who it was, but it was Furkan after the game. Furkan says you have 2 types of all-stars, 2 types of them. Some of them, they come there, they know they're the best on the team, and they don't really hang out with us. They just basically, they don't hang out with people. They just show up for the games. They do what they have to do. He said, this guy is always in our ears. He's always around us, and he's always teaching us. And to me, that, that's powerful because you can tell that he really wants to win. You can tell that he's invested in his teammates because some guys, they want to keep that secret because it gives them an edge. Mm-hmm. But what he's doing is he's been the coach on the floor long before he started playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves last Friday.
That's awesome to hear, man. I think that should excite a lot of Sixers fans. Keith, listen, we always appreciate you taking the time. You take a lot of time for us here on The Fanatic, so thank you as always. Again, make sure you check out his stuff on The Inquirer, at Pompey on Sixers on Twitter. Keith, keep doing the great work, man. I hope you enjoy the rest of the season. It's going to be a lot more fun now.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Keith. Have a great weekend, man. Safe travels. Miami should be fun, right? They don't have to worry about playing in a game the next day. They could just cover the game. So that must be fun. That's got to be fun. Being on the beat sometimes, depending on where you're going. Like, if you're going to Minnesota,
Detroit in January probably.
Yeah, that kind of stinks. But going to Miami early March, that sounds like a pretty good time. 610-632-0975. I'm Andrew Salchunas. I'm filling in for the Cuz, but we still have 4 for 4 Wordle coming up. So I'm going to steal it from Anthony. I don't think it's stealing, but we're going to do 4 for 4 Wordle coming up. We do have a 4-pack of tickets to the Philly Auto Show. Philly Auto Show is back March 5th through the 13th at the PA Convention Center with the latest models, classics, and exotics. Visit phillyautoshow.com for details. So we'll start that coming up on the other side. If you're just tuning in, really, for the first time ever, I will explain what 4 for 4 Wordle is because it is obviously a craze right now, Wordle itself. But we have a little spin of it for our own. And speaking of, if you're just tuning in, I'll explain everything that we got coming up for the rest of the show. 610-632-0975. I'm Andrew Salchunas, filling in for the Cuz right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers get their backup center. I'm Tom Alvord, and this update is brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer. Come rain or shine, high winds or mild breezes, blue skies or gray, it's a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19, sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer. Yes, the Sixers announced yesterday that they've agreed to terms with veteran free agent center DeAndre Jordan after he was released from the Lakers earlier in the week. An All-Star in 2017, Jordan has spent the majority of his career playing under Sixers head coach Doc Rivers with the Los Angeles Clippers. The 33-year-old Jordan is averaging a career-low 4.1 points and 12.8 minutes played per game this season. Jordan will look to give the Sixers some much-needed rebounding help, however, as they rank 29th in the NBA in rebounds per game. No word yet on when Jordan will make his debut. The 76ers are looking for their 4th straight win with James Harden as a starting point guard tonight in Philadelphia against the Cavaliers. The Sixers currently sit at 38-23 on the season, just 2.5 games out of the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. You can listen to tonight's game right here on The Fanatic. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock. And the Flyers lose another one, falling to the Minnesota Wild 5-4 at home last night. It's their 8th loss in their last 9 games. They blew 4 separate leads last night. That's right, 4. They look to bounce back tomorrow against the Blackhawks. Make sure you tune in tonight at 6 p.m. for Draft Lines with Devon Givens and Jamie Lynch as they get you ready for Sixers Cavs. Keep it locked to The Fanatic all day for breaking news and information. I'm Tom Alborn, and you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic.
It's the Anthony Gargano Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. The push to the playoffs is on.
Desperation 3, and in! Oh, man! Are you kidding me?
Sixers, Cavs. Tonight at 7, it's Embiid, Harden, and your 76ers on your home for 76ers basketball. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Sixers basketball is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app.
When it comes to cybersecurity, the biggest threats don't always strike the biggest targets. Almost half of all cyber attacks target small businesses. So help protect yours with Comcast Business Security Edge. It's advanced security that continuously scans for threats and helps protect every connected device. On the largest, fastest, reliable network with speeds up to 10 gigs to the most small businesses. So switch today and get cutting-edge speed with advanced security and be ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security, together for just $69.99 a month for 12 months with a 3-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get free installation when you order online. Or find out how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying bundle. Call or go online today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New Comcast Business 100 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Prepaid card offer ends 3/31/22.
Life is a Highway is being turned to Electric Avenue with the announcement of the eNASCAR College iRacing Series with NACE Star League. This virtual NASCAR tournament is open to 500 colleges across America with a prize pool of $50,000 in scholarships broken up between 3 events. This is a tremendous step for simulation racing, and it'll be interesting to see if other racing video games follow suit.
The latest esports and gaming news. Find it online at checkpointxp.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If the best part of your workday is spent listening to us on your drive to work and back, maybe it's time your workday was spent somewhere else. Many of the companies you hear advertising on The Fanatic are hiring talented, hardworking people just like you. Visit the Fanatic job board at 975thefanatic.com/now hiring for links to career opportunities with our partners.
You want to make green? You got to think green. Start your driver or technician career with Waste Management. $7,500 sign-on bonus. Paid college tuition. Apply online at careers.wm.com. Are you a window and door installer looking for work or a change? Come work for a locally owned company in business for over 30 years. Make your own hours. Get paid weekly. Thermal Quality Windows. Hiring now. Call 610-325-0788 or visit thermalqualitywindows.com.
These are just a few of our advertisers now hiring. Check out the full list at 975thefanatic.com/now hiring. We love working with these companies, and we're sure you will too.
Have you been lied to? Lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Richard Cohen from right here in South Jersey in the Philadelphia area, and I want to give you a free copy of my new book, Wall Street's Retirement Plans and 401ks Have Failed Millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I said, enough. I've discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and when the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Reliable Financial now to get a free copy of my book and talk to me personally to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits. Call 1-800-605-9191 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney used to grow wealthy. And I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-605-9191. That's 1-800 1-800-605-9191. Again, 1-800-605-9191.
At Progressive, we know there's nothing like the feeling of riding a motorcycle with your crew on the open road. That symphony of engines roaring in perfect harmony. It's a feeling that would be impossible to recreate on the radio. Until now. Hit it, Jerry. Oh, my word. Really, really terrible. Was that a glockenspiel, Jerry? Quote with Progressive and see if you could save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. No, Jerry. It's over.
Confession. The only thing I love more than spring itself are the savings I just got at Kohl's. I'm talking 50% off new patio furniture, cute and comfy sandals for under $35, and long sleeve tops for just $11.99. Not only did I earn Kohl's cash, but because I'm a Kohl's Rewards member, I got an extra 25% off too. I mean, extra savings and extra sunlight. Hello, spring.
Select styles, 25% Kohl's Rewards offer ends March 6th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Do you want the best for your car? Then fill up with Premium at Circle K. Circle K Premium is our best fuel with double the cleaning detergent, protecting your engine from corrosion and damage so it can work at its best. And that, my friend, increases your mileage for more cha-ching in your pocket. Plus, when you fill up with Premium at Circle K, you can save up to 20 cents per gallon. Offer valid Thursdays or Fridays at participating stores. For details, visit CircleK.com. Circle K. How convenient.
You want it warmer. He wants it colder. So you turn the thermostat up. He turns it down. Warmer, colder, up, down. Where does it end? With a new high-efficiency heating and cooling system with whole-house air filtration from your Delaware Valley Train Comfort Specialist. These new Train systems provide even, consistent heat throughout your home, along with cleaner, healthier air for comfort and savings everyone can agree on. Visit Train.com to find a Delaware Valley Independent Train Comfort Specialist near you. It's hard to stop a train.
Philadelphia's hometown sportsbook. Bet Rivers is the official sports betting partner of the Philadelphia Flyers. All season long, make your hockey bets with a trusted local team at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Get started today with a special offer. Use the code 250MATCH to get up to $250 in bonus money on your first deposit. Whether you watch the Flyers game at home or at the Bet Rivers Sportsbook at Rivers Casino Philadelphia, bet with a winner at BetRivers.com. Presented by Rivers Casino Pittsburgh. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Home of 76ers basketball and Flyers hockey.
Plug in.
97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
12 o'clock, 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Andrew Salchunas filling in for the Cuz. Anthony will be back on Monday, just enjoying a 3-day weekend. We will start 4 for 4 Wordle coming up in a second. Let me just let you know exactly what we're talking about today, and then I'll explain 4 for 4 Wordle because I know there's a lot of new listeners, which will be a topic of conversation for the rest of the show as well. But first, to start off the show, we talked about all of the concerns that people had pre-trade for Harden, post-trade for Harden, before he even stepped on the court, and now post-trade for Harden and post-3-0 start. Sixers are 3-0 in the James Harden era, and there are still people that have their concerns. And a great tweet from Garbage Man Otto, who said, "Break my heart. I'm head over heels, baby. Love the beard." Like, I'm with him. I don't care if my heart is broken. Like, why would I tamper my excitement? We had a guy that called in to Jamie and I last Sunday, Wake and Bake Radio, and he was like, "You guys are the professionals here. You're supposed to keep us from getting too excited. I hear too many people getting too excited, and you guys are playing along with them." I'm not playing along. Like, I'm fired up, man. And that was after they started 2-0. And there was a guy that was trying to have us, Jamie and I, and other members of the radio station tell people, no. Don't get too excited that you have a top 75 player of all time who was clearly not cooked, playing alongside the MVP of the season who got better than he was last year when he should have won MVP. No. Don't get too excited. Like, come on. Why? Which is why I ask, why do we live in fear? Why? Oh, Harden isn't going to work with Maxey. Andre Drummond is God. Seth Curry is the only person in the world that can shoot a 3-point shot. I just don't get it. I said it to Tom earlier today. You could have traded for Harden and given up Simmons, Maxey, and Thibault. last year when Houston didn't trade to Philadelphia out of spite. Well, you could have made that trade and been in a far worse situation. Instead, you just had to trade Simmons, a backup center who's a free agent at the end of this year, and Seth Curry and picks. Those same picks would have been traded to Houston. I just don't understand it. So I ask you why we live in fear. Why you live in fear, because it's not me. I ask why it's considered pom-pom waving if you think they're going to go to the NBA Finals, because John Kincaid said that this morning and specifically called out Anthony and Tyrone. And even though I'm like John, where I think I need to see them get to the Eastern Conference Finals first before I say Finals, but I don't think it's crazy to say that they get to the NBA Finals. Like, I don't. They match up with all these teams. You know, Tom, you said it earlier. Brooklyn could very well be the 8th seed. And if the Sixers are the 1 seed, that's a Sixers-Nets first-round series, which is not going to be a walk in the park. It won't be. But you could see them winning. You could see them beating the Bucks. You could see, like, any team that's in the playoffs. Do the Sixers match up poorly against them? Like, there's not a team where I go, oh, man, it's a bad matchup for the Sixers.
No, it's going to be tough. Like, I look at every single contending team, especially in the East, and I'm like, I could see myself picking the Sixers to win that series, and I think NBA writers, casual fans around can see the same thing because, yeah, it's not going to be a 4-0 sweep. Right. It might go 7 games.
Yes.
But they have just as much talent to match up with these top-tier teams.
Yeah, like, don't give me, well, the Bucks have Giannis Antetokounmpo. All right, well, the Sixers have Joel Embiid and James Harden. Like, they have a former All-Star, or former MVP, and a guy who should win MVP this year. And Giannis Antetokounmpo is an incredible talent. So is Drew Holiday. So is Chris Middleton, right? When we talk about the big threes, remember the big three used to be Simmons, Embiid, and Harris versus Antetokounmpo and Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. I took Giannis over Joel last year. Look, he won MVP, but he scored 50 points in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. I took Chris Middleton over Tobias, and I took Ben over Drew Holiday, which, shame on me.
Didn't work out too well.
No, it didn't. But the big threes now of Maxey, Harden, and Embiid right now, greater than Giannis because of how he is playing this year. I'm not saying like he's better than Giannis. I'm just saying right now, Embiid is an MVP candidate. I love Chris Middleton. I think he's a hell of a player, but who am I comparing him to? Am I comparing him to Maxey or am I comparing him to Harden? If I'm comparing him to Harden, I go Harden. If I'm comparing him to Maxey, I take Chris Middleton, but then whoever Harden's going up against, I take Harden.
Regardless who you pair it with.
So I take two of the threes and beat Harden. So I go, all right, well, you can give me the big three in Milwaukee all you want. The Sixers have a pretty damn good one here. So that's why I go, it's not pom-pom waving. It's been a violation on my man John. But I'm with him where I go, listen, they haven't gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals since 2001, and there's been a lot of second-round eliminations in the last couple of years. I get it. I'm with him there. But I can't fault anyone for not just saying, I love the Sixers, they're going to the finals, but legitimately looking at it and going, hey, this makes sense. They could get to the finals. I can't blame anyone for that.
If we're not allowed to be excited and get excited for the Sixers to potentially be in the finals, what's the point of being a sports fan?
I don't know.
That's what
Lynn said before we got to Keith Pompey.
Isn't that what it's all about?
Yes.
The roller coaster of emotions, getting too high, getting too low sometimes. Like, how do I, after all I've seen the last, process years, the last 6-7 years, whatever it may be, and I look at a team with James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, who is emerging as a star in this
shooting
league.
40% from three,
but
dude.
His growth is unbelievable, the fact that he's able to do that, especially in a shortened freshman year, Kentucky, no tournament because of COVID. It's unbelievable. You pair that with James Harden, Joel Embiid. Why can't I get excited? If I'm not allowed
and Tobias Harris doesn't suck.
No, and he's going to figure it out.
Like Keith said it, look, he looks a little uncomfortable out there. That's fine, but I still think he is a walking 14, 15 points a night.
He's just not comfortable with this role. He's going from being the number 2 option out of nowhere earlier in the year to now being the 4th as a catch and shoot.
Like a catch and shoot, right? Exactly.
Which he's not really. That's not his game. But it's going to take some time, and he's going to figure it out.
Yeah, and there's going to be parts of the game where he's on the court with like Maxey and Harden and Embiid are on the bench, taking a breather. And so maybe you run the offense through Tobias Harris
That's how I feel. I really do. Because, when they're all on the court together, whether it be the start of the game, the last 2 minutes of the game, whatever.
He'll get less looks for sure.
Yeah, he'll be more the catch and shoot guy. But when I want Tobias to be most aggressive is when they move to the bench or, have the bench rotations, when it's just him and Harden.
Yeah.
When it's just him and Maxey. So, they can run the offense through the two of them.
Finally, I'm going to open this new topic up before we get back to the phones and we start 4for4 Wordle, and I'll explain that as well. So yesterday, I saw on our YouTube comments section somebody that, typed in, hey, listen, first-time listener, first-time viewer on YouTube. I'm not that big of a Sixers fan, but there's so much hype right now that I'm watching. And so if you're watching again today, I hope we entertained you enough yesterday that you came back today, and we appreciate it. We took callers yesterday that said, my wife's watching games for the first time. Jamie and I talked about it last Sunday. My wife sat down with me to watch the debut of James Harden. She was actually somewhat locked in. She was on her phone a lot, which that's fine. She doesn't watch sports. So for her to be somewhat locked in means something.
Yeah,
okay?
I don't mean you're sitting there taking notes.
She's
enjoying it.
That means something. Jamie's wife, Addie, was locked in because she is more of a sports fan than my wife is, but so she was locked in. And so I get this feeling, and it's always like this when there's a new, talk of the town, right? Like when the Eagles were making the Super Bowl run, there were new Eagles fans, or there were definitely people that, I watch football, with my friends, blah, blah, blah. But then they were locked in because of the playoff run. So I want to hear from the people that are first-time listeners or people that aren't really big on Sixers fans. We had a caller yesterday. I know Anthony doesn't believe that there are Flyers fans. It's everybody's 4for4 fans, not just Flyers. No, there are. There are only Eagles fans. They rep Philly. They rep the Sixers. They rep the Phillies. They rep the Flyers. But they're the Eagles is really the one they really pay attention to, right? So we had a guy that called in yesterday and said, I'll call myself a 3for4 fan. I rep the Sixers, but I'm not really a basketball fan. But I have now watched 3 straight. He watched each game start to finish. All 3 games of Harden. He said he hasn't done that since the 80s, right? When they were when they won a championship. So that's kind of cool to hear, right? I love that new people are on board. I'm not one of those people. I was at first. I will admit, when things are starting to get better, I kind of hated the people that were all of a sudden on board. I will admit that, but I was young, right? I was not as mature as I am now, because I am, of course, an obviously very mature person.
Yeah, grown up.
I was against it because I was actually going to games during the process like a loser, right? I was an idiot for wasting my money going to those games.
And printing out fat heads apparently
Printing
as well.
out fat heads, yeah. That was dumb. I shouldn't have been doing that. I probably should have used those Temple Diamond dollars to, buy food and not bring a fat head of Arnett Moultrie down to the game.
Priorities, man.
Yeah. So I probably shouldn't have done that, but whatever. So there are a lot of new listeners, new fans, and I welcome everybody, and everybody should. We should be open arms. That's why it was so cool to see the stadium so packed. Now that they have standing room, there's going to be even more people at Sixers games, which is really cool. So if you're a first-time listener, or you're not really the biggest Sixers fan, but you're listening strictly because you're fired up, because they're the talk of the town right now. There's a game tonight. You're fired up for the game tonight. You can't wait to watch it. I want to hear from you. Again, I was at the Timeout Sports Bar the other day with Bob. And it was packed. It was my first time there. Bob said it was packed the last time he was there before, too. So I'm sure it's a bar that gets packed. But, I guarantee you that there are bars that are sometimes quiet, especially post, I can't say post-COVID, but as COVID's still starting to disappear a little bit, there are still some bars that are quiet. I guarantee you bar stools are starting to get more and more filled up leading up to tip-off. And I want to hear from the people that are a little bit more in, because we're losers. Tom and I are losers. Anthony and I are losers. We're losers. We're locked in every single night. It's our jobs, but we're also losers because we're sports fans and we check it out all the time. But, I've heard from people. I have people texting me during games that I rarely talk sports with them, right? Because they're not the biggest sports fans. But they know that they can text me because they know that I'm watching, right? But I get texts from friends that are like, oh my God, this is so great. I'm like, oh, wow, I'm happy that you're watching. That's really cool that you're watching the Sixers right now. Do you know anybody like this?
Oh, yeah. I've heard it a ton doing weekend shows with me and Tyler Zulli. We've had a couple callers where I think the one was a Flyers fan. He's like, yeah, like, I casually, like, pay attention.
Right.
But he's like, no, I'm locked in now. Like,
That's awesome.
And that's what's so great about sports, and that's what's so great about this city, where we all just gravitate to the fun and the good time and the ride, whether it be the Tunis train or the Eagles in the Super Bowl, whatever it may be. When we realize as a city and as sports fans, as Sixers fans, whatever it may be, that something, like, real and legit could be happening in front of us, it's really fun to go along for that ride.
Right. So I want to hear from you at 610-632-0975. Or if you know somebody, I want to hear from you. Like, I'll tell you, like, my wife is watching more games. So is there somebody else who has a wife or a husband who's not really big into sports that is now starting to pay attention a little bit more, or friends that you know of that really weren't sports fans to begin with? Our caller, Lynn, not too long ago, she has 2 sisters that are out of town, and she said that they don't really like basketball, but they know who James Harden is. So she called them, broke the news to them that James Harden was coming to the Sixers, and they celebrated.
That's awesome.
Because people know who James Harden is. Like, you don't have to be this diehard Sixers fan or basketball fan to know who James Harden is, right? Because he's a top player of all time. And so that's really cool. And I want to hear from people who know others. And I'm glad that Lynn brought that up, because I literally had it written down as one of our topics today. So I want to hear from you. 610-632-0975. We start 4 for 4 Wordle. If you're just hearing this for the first time, you guys all know the Wordle craze. It's 5 letters. You have to type in the letters and all that kind of stuff. It's the same thing, but we do Philadelphia sport-related issues and stuff. And it's not 5 letters. I'm telling you right now. It doesn't have to be 5 letters. So you're going to call in. I'm going to have you give me a letter. You give me a letter. You give a guess. Obviously, it stinks sometimes when you're one of the first callers, like my man Ryan in media will be, because you guess a letter and you just have to kind of take a shot. But I do have the name in my head. I'll tell you right now, that's your clue. It is a name that is in my head, and I'll have you take a guess. So let's go to Ryan in media. Ryan, you're on the Fanatic.
Yo, Tunis. What's going on?
What's up, Ryan? How are you, man?
Doing good, man. Solo show today.
Yeah, well, I got my man Tom Alvord, too.
Yeah, what's up, Tom?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, man. So before I get to my Sixers point, it's funny. I just wanted to say, you were talking about how, you never really listened to sports talk as a kid.
Yeah.
And I always was, subjected to it because I was in the car with my dad, and he always had it on all the time. But then, as I, got older, I learned to love it, and I just listened to it all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. It's really cool. I mean, my dad and I listen to games in the car all the time, right? Especially if leaving church on Sundays and listening to the Eagles game, right? You had to do all that kind of stuff. But I never listened to the talk aspect of it, and I don't know why. I don't know why my dad wouldn't play it when I was in the car. We just listened to music when we were driving somewhere. My mom doesn't care about sports really at all, so it was just my dad who would influence me for it, and he never did. And I didn't start listening to sports radio till I got here, and it is cool. It's fun that we get to talk to people, right? Like you and I are just talking right now. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. I remember my first memory of you on the radio was when you were with Mikey Miss.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years ago that was.
That was 2016, 17. Something. It was leading up to the Eagles Super Bowl.
And you were on the radio, and something came up, like highest paid coaches or something. It was like NCAA coaches, and Nick Saban came up, and Mike was like, guess how much his salary was? And you were like, oh, I don't know. What's he make, like couple $100,000?
yeah, I had no idea, dude. I've learned so much. Like, obviously, I was a diehard sports fan before I got here, but like, there were so many things that I didn't even know about. Right? Like, I didn't know that college coaches made like more than like scientists. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it makes like $8.
Like, sports money is stupid. Like, if we're being completely honest, like, sports money is dumb. Like, say what you want about Tobias Harris, whatever. He's making way too much money. Like, let's be honest. Even if he was really good, like, it's just crazy how much money. Like, baseball, no wonder there's a lockout. Mookie Betts got a $400 million contract to play a kid's game.
Yeah, it really is crazy. I mean, I do appreciate Harris. He did step up in that game.
Yeah, he did.
There was a short stretch there where the Sixers were blowing the lead in the fourth, and he scored like 7 straight.
Right.
Which actually,
I wasn't taking a shot to Tobias. Just like thinking about he's the highest paid player on the team, and it's just like, oh my God, dude, you're playing basketball? I go outside and play basketball. People laugh at me.
Played some yesterday with a buddy from work.
Nice.
So we're terrible, but we're out there playing.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, I think James Harden's going to turn Tyrese into a killer. Man, he really is. I think Doc has really helped Tyrese develop his skills and his fundamental. But I think Harden's going to really show him how to have that mentality.
Yeah, and I thought what Keith told us was really cool. I didn't know about the card story that they're on the plane. He's like, how come nobody's playing cards? Like, that's awesome that he's getting everybody involved. And, I remember Tobias was saying last year that they did like once a week they all had team dinners or something like that. But which I'm sure was fun. But I think James Harden has a different vibe to him that I'm sure people appreciate. And the fact that he loves basketball as much as he does, I think people glom onto that a little bit more.
I think he's overlooked as a leader.
I do too. Now, Ryan, can you give me a letter?
Yeah, I'll give you R.
There is no R. No R. Now, before we head to break, I need to tell you, and I appreciate Haley for doing this. So we had a whiteboard that 2016? 2016 was when I started full-time here. Doing middays. So 2016, I was like, we need a whiteboard because take you behind the curtain a little bit. Like Keith Pompey is a guest that he's the greatest, right? He's such a good dude. He'll come on any show, right? So there are days where I'll text Keith Pompey and he'll text me back, hey, I'm already going on with Mike today. And like, you still want me on? I'm like, oh, listen, I would love to have you on, but that would be disrespectful to Mike if I were to put you on the air when you're going to be on with his show later on in the day, right? So I had us get a whiteboard and write down Monday through Friday and the guests that we had planned or the guests that we were aiming for. Like they might not have confirmed, but hey, we're trying to get this guy. Because sometimes, like, I'm not going to text Keith a month in advance, but I might have to text, like, Dr. J a month in advance to try to get him on. Like that kind of stuff. And so that whiteboard was used a lot for, like, a month from each show, each producer, and then it just stopped. And so we literally just erased it. For the first time since it's been 6 years. And Haley, thank God, was able to find some sort of cleaning device because it wasn't coming off. It was 6-year-old marker. So I think she said she used hand sanitizer, which, all right. So I now have the whiteboard. For everybody on YouTube that has been asking for a whiteboard for Sixers, or for, there's your clue, for 4-for-4 Wordle, we will have a whiteboard so I can have it displayed behind me so that you can see the letters in front of you. But there is no R, and I will start doing that. It's outside of the studio right now. It will be behind me in the next couple of minutes. So no R in 4-for-4 Wordle. Again, you're playing for a 4-pack of Auto Show tickets. The number to get in today is 610-632-0975. Obviously, it's been a heavy Sixers day. We do have some Eagles stuff to get into. Amari Cooper expected to be released by the Dallas Cowboys. I already see John and Jamie going at it about whether or not Amari Cooper should be signed by the Eagles. I want to hear your interest level for it. Also, I have a list in front of me that I forgot to write on our sheet today, Tom, of the top 20 most hated people related to the NFL.
Thanks for the heads up. Appreciate it.
So I'm going to make you try to figure it out as well as the callers. My man Jimmy Shapiro of Bet Online AG, he sends all kinds of stuff. It's awesome. It's really cool. But they had some search engine of negative tweets. Look up the most hated NFL related people. So it's not just players. The top 20. And I have the list in front of me. I want to see how many you can get in the callers as well. This is something that we can have fun with because it's pretty funny. And a lot of them you're not surprised with, but we'll talk about it. 610-632-0975. I'm Andrew Salchunas filling in for the Cuz. We'll be back on Monday right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, listen, we're getting closer to the summer, right? So summer means a lot more fun or just warm weather in general. Sunday's going to be a beautiful day, so you're probably going to drop a lot of money at the bars and all that kind of stuff because it's going to be a lot of fun. So you want to make some money real quick? You want to make up to $825 this month? Well, you can do that at CSL Plasma, and not only are you getting money, but you're doing something awesome. You donate plasma at any of CSL Plasma's tri-state area donation centers. It's money in your pocket for doing an absolute good deed. Plasma donations, they help create therapies to treat patients with rare and serious diseases. The donation process is a lot like donating blood, and you get a nice chunk of change in your pocket when you're done as a thank you for your time. You do not need an appointment to go in and donate. Walk-ins are welcome at all their tri-state area donation centers, including North Philly, West Philly, Northeast Philly, Hamilton, and Maple Shade, New Jersey, Newark, Delaware, and coming soon in the Aramingo area. Now, if you're going, CSL Plasma, that sounds familiar. They were the sponsor of our knockout tournament the other day, which was awesome. I was hanging out with Renee, her husband Brian, who was actually just lighting it up the other day. He was wearing if anybody saw, he was the one wearing the beanie. He was just lighting it up from the free throw line. They're awesome people. Renee is fantastic, and not only are they great people, but CSL Plasma, not only are they putting money in your pocket, they're doing great deeds around the area. They do toys for tot drives during the holidays. They give backpacks to kids who are of need leading up to the new school year. So it's really cool. You got to check them out. Download the CSL Plasma app or visit CSLPlasma.com. Tell them Andrew sent you when you go. CSL Plasma, good for you, great for life.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers back in action tonight. I'm Tom Alvord, and this update is brought to you by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Unused prescription opioids can spell harm if taken by someone they weren't prescribed for. Find safe drug take-back options at fda.gov/drug disposal. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Yes, James Harden, the Philadelphia 76ers, will be looking for their fourth straight win since the All-Star break tonight in Philadelphia against the Cavaliers. Philadelphia comes into the game just 2.5 games back of the Miami Heat for first place in the Eastern Conference with 21 games remaining on the season. The Sixers last faced the Cavs 3 weeks ago where they won 103-93 despite not having James Harden due to a hamstring injury. They look to have a similar outcome tonight, and you can listen to that game right here on The Fanatic. Tip-offs at 7 o'clock. In other Sixers news, the team announced they've signed veteran center DeAndre Jordan to a deal for the remainder of the season. The 33-year-old former All-Star averaged just over 4 points and 5 rebounds in 32 games for the Lakers this season, playing about 12 minutes a game. The 76ers also announced they will release Willie Cauley-Stein to make room for Jordan. Cauley-Stein played a total of 5 minutes as a Sixer. And the Flyers lose another one, falling to the Minnesota Wild 5-4. It's their 8th loss in their last 9 games. They look to bounce back tomorrow against the Blackhawks. Make sure you tune in tonight at 6 p.m. for Draft Lines with Devon Gibbons and Jamie Lynch as they get you ready for Sixers Cavs. Keep it locked to Fanatic all day for breaking news and information. I'm Tom Alborn. You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic.
It's the Cuz, Anthony Gargano. Weekdays 10 to 2 on 97.5 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update for 97.5 The Fanatic. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
NBA, the Sixers home tonight. They'll take on the Cleveland Cavaliers, riding a 4-game win streak after back-to-back wins against the New York Knicks. The Sixers, a 7.5-point favorite tonight against the Cavs, minus 320 on the money line. Cleveland sitting at plus 260. The over-under is at 219.5. NHL, the Flyers fell to Minnesota 5-4 Thursday night, losing 8 of their last 9 games. Scott Lawton and Patrick Brown with first-period goals for the Flyers, but Minnesota tallied 2 goals in the third period to pull away. Philadelphia back on the ice Saturday, taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. DraftKings Sportsbook is America's favorite sportsbook app. I'm Tony Desiri, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Attention. As of July 1st, 2021, the Department of Labor has been enforcing a brand new law that affects all construction contractors. Delaware's Contractor Registration Act regulates worker misclassification, ensures contractors have a fair bidding environment, and all workers receive benefits required by law. All contractors, including sole proprietors, limited liability companies, and all corporations and partnerships performing or planning to perform construction services or maintenance work, are required to submit an application for the Delaware Department of Labor's review to obtain a certificate prior to starting construction services or maintenance work throughout the state. This requirement includes residential and commercial contractors and all contractors performing work on public projects. Contractors who receive a certificate will be listed on a public portal as compliant, which can be used to verify if a contractor is approved. If the Department of Labor determines that a contractor is performing construction services or maintenance work in the state without a certificate, they may face a civil penalty up to $85,000 per violation. For more information and to register, visit delaware.onestop.gov.
Hey, it's Jen Scordo, Covington, Masvidal. The rivalry will be renewed this Saturday night, and FanDuel Sportsbook, in partnership with Valley Forge, is making things even more exciting by offering new customers 30-1 odds on either fighter. That's right. You could win $150 on a $5 bet. Just sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook using promo code SCORDO, pick your fighter, and get ready to win big. There's no title on the line here, but these two former training partners will battle it out. They would have you believe that they're mortal enemies, but they are actually best friends, former roommates, and they're going to go head-to-head. It's going to be a battle for sure, but I've got Masvidal to win. I love FanDuel. It's quick and easy to get started, and you get your winnings fast, and there's tons of different sports and bet types to wager on. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. It's super quick to get started. You can withdraw your winnings in just a snap, so don't miss your chance to cash in on one of the biggest fights of the year. Sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook using promo code SCORDO today.
21 plus of President PA. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Care has the power to bring kindness where it's needed. It brings out the best in every one of us. It doesn't just see people. It takes time to understand them. It puts the needs of others ahead of its own. And when you start with care, you end up with a very different kind of bank. Truist. Truist Bank, member FDIC.
When it comes to cybersecurity, the biggest threats don't always strike the biggest targets. So help safeguard your small business with Comcast Business Security Edge. It's advanced security that continuously scans for threats and helps protect every connected device on the largest, fastest, reliable network with speeds up to 10 gigs to the most small businesses. So switch today and get cutting-edge speed with advanced security and be ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Comcast Business Internet required. Other restrictions apply.
Hey guys, it's Andrew. We all have the same resolution to get back out there and start working out again. And you know what? Now's the time to get back in action with Esports Fitness's low starting price starting at $9.99. It's simple to step back into the sports club lifestyle. I love everything that Esports has to offer. They have free weights. They got your cardio workouts, treadmills, bikes, squat racks, you name it. They got kettlebells. They absolutely have everything. Get a free 3-day pass to an Esports Fitness near you at welcome-to-esportofitness.com. That's welcome-to-esportofitness.com. Welcome to Esports Fitness. Premium fitness for as low as $9.99 a month. Start today. Subject to enrollment and annual fees.
The Philadelphia Flyers are bringing it to Broad this March.
They score! Cam Atkinson on the redirect.
Be there when the Philadelphia Flyers take on the Montreal Canadiens on March 13th at Wells Fargo Center.
Provorov blasting away. Atkinson to Giroux. He scores! The captain makes it look easy.
Get your tickets now, only at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com.
O'Reilly.
This is Claudia's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
I had just moved to a new city and barely even knew where the grocery store was yet. When my car wouldn't start one morning, I didn't know who to ask about local shops. But I remembered a name from back home, O'Reilly Auto Parts. I called and they pointed me to a great mechanic just down the street. Now I feel a little more at home.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Progressive presents Forced Metaphors about bundling your home and auto.
In sports, 3 goals is a hat trick. And when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, you get a hat trick of great savings and round-the-clock protection. So you might be thinking, wait, that's 2 things. A hat trick is 3. But in this metaphor, great savings counts as 2 goals, and so does round-the-clock protection. So it's like 4 goals, and that's more than 3. It's basic math.
Forced Metaphors. Presented by Progressive. Bundle and protect today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Relationships run hot and cold. No matter how hard you try to compromise, sometimes things are just out of your control, like the TV remote and the thermostat. Fortunately, your independent Delaware Valley trained comfort specialist can provide you with a new high-efficiency heating and cooling system with whole-house air filtration, so you'll always have even, consistent heat throughout your home, along with cleaner, healthier air. You'll save money and maybe even your relationship. Visit Train.com to find a Delaware Valley independent train comfort specialist near you. It's hard to stop a train.
More of the Anthony Gargano Show now
on 97.5 The Fanatic.
I'm going to start this segment by asking, what the hell's wrong with people? That's how I'm going to start this segment.
That's a very difficult answer.
So, I just saw a video tweeted by Barstool. And it was at a Blackhawks game. And somebody from Edmonton, Duncan Keith. So Edmonton was in Chicago last night. And it looks like it was pregame, I would imagine. Or it was intermission, maybe they were warming up or something. And Duncan Keith comes over with a puck on a stick and flips it over the boards. And there was a little kid there. And some lady caught it. And like it looked like it was obviously going to the kid. But she caught it. Now she has a sign that says, "I love you, Dunk," it looks like. I don't know. So maybe she's a big Duncan Keith fan.
I think it says Dunks.
Dunks. Yeah. Okay. I love you, Dunks. The kid is in tears. Tears next to her. And she looks as if Cupid's arrow just went through her heart. As if Duncan Keith is going to drop down on bended knee and propose to this random lady. And this kid is in tears. And Duncan Keith had to come over with another puck to give to the kid, who then was in tears of joy afterward. But this kid's having a meltdown. Now listen, kid's got to learn. Like,
life isn't fair.
Not everything goes your way. But how awful of a person do you have to be? The kid, now she does have a poster of the dude.
See, I don't think it's as outrageous, as you do.
Because but if the kid's I don't know. Like,
was she just that zoned in? Because obviously she's a huge fan. Duncan Keith's one of the best Blackhawks ever. She's got the sign up. She's videotaping. I don't know if it's just the adrenaline is pumping that much.
Maybe.
Or she should know, because she literally looks to the left to, watch Duncan Keith skate off. And in her peripheral to the left is the kid crying. Tears of, pain at that point.
Yeah.
So, not a great move. But, it's not like... And it was kind of in towards her. It wasn't necessarily towards the kid. I don't know. Maybe I'm just seeing things.
But the kid's having
He is having a meltdown, though. He really is.
And he's a Blackhawks fan, so, he probably knows Duncan Keith.
And, you would think that... I don't know. The puck is going for the little kid. You have a sign, but, the little kid probably cares about that.
To this day, I don't understand. If you catch a foul ball or a home run ball, really cool moment for you. It's awesome, right? I've caught my share of foul balls, mainly in my days of going to Atlantic City Surf games, because they have that opening in right field where you're allowed to stand at.
You went down to those games?
Oh, all the time, because we vacation in Ocean City, and my dad would always take me to one surf game each year.
Those are my stomping grounds.
Dude, I loved it, man. I loved the
the surf were a lot of fun.
And I hope they come back. And I will tell you right now, I will try out and embarrass myself, but I will try out because I think it would be good for the station if they give me a summer off to play professional baseball. And then I can talk about it on the air. I think that would be a good thing. Now, I won't make the team, but I'll give it a shot. So, Surf, if you're listening, sign me up. It's good. It's good PR because I'll do hits, right? I'll come on with Anthony once a week. Come down to see the AC Surf. It'll be free advertising. So I'm telling you right now. Put me on that 25-man roster or whatever the AC Surf, whatever those interleague kind of rosters are, sign me up. I don't even have to play. Just let me travel the team. Give me whatever contract. Hopefully the Fanatic keeps on paying me. And we just go on from there. But, as an adult, I caught a foul ball once by Jimmy Rollins, who was my favorite player as a kid. I gave it to the kid next to me. Because what am I going to do? Bring it home? I have caught other foul balls that they've been in a box. What am I ever going to do with it? But this kid eventually will put it in a box. He's going to put Duncan Keith's hockey puck in a box when he goes away to college. But for the next, he looks like he's 8. For the next 10 years, he's going to probably have that up somewhere in his room and he can look at it, whatever. I never understood catching a foul ball. And if there's no kids around you, right? You hold on to it.
You're not walking down 9 rows to go give it.
No, but I remember it was a little girl, right? And I just here you go, and made her day. Rest of her day she's looking at the ball constantly. Just do that.
Yeah,
I think that's the appropriate move because you're not gonna play with it. You know what I mean? You're not gonna. What are you gonna do? Have a catch with the ball?
So what if because I am a person who has never caught a foul ball. I've been given balls. I've been given baseballs by people at the games and stuff like that when I was a younger kid and stuff like that. But I have never caught one myself.
Okay, let me ask you. Go back to your youth. If somebody caught a foul ball next to you and he doesn't give it to you, you're not begging for the ball, but he doesn't give it to you.
You're giving him wide eyes. Like, come on.
You're going to be bummed out.
Yeah.
Right?
Life's tough.
You now as an adult, you catch your first ever foul ball. Cool moment for you, right? You'll be able to tell that story forever. What are you going to do with that ball? Are you going to put it on your mantle? When you're living in your mansion, Tom, with your king-size bed, are you going to put it on your mantle? That's the foul ball I caught.
A foul ball from Andrew Knapp. Yeah, it doesn't give me a lot of...
Travis Jankowski fouled that
Sean
one
Rodriguez.
off. Yeah, I caught that one.
You know who I can't stand is that Zach Hampel dude, I think his name is, the guy who goes out of his way to catch. Like, that's just ridiculous.
That's
like,
weird. It's weird.
Like, you're
now
a grown adult.
He's turned it into a profit, I think, because I think his videos are sponsored and stuff.
Still, though, it's just like, I don't know, just the thought process of it where you're
it's very weird, especially, again, if you're stealing it from a kid.
Which he has before.
Yeah. I think that's a weird move. But I don't know. I see this lady, and she's like, the kid's having a crisis because he probably thought it was because this was actually being handed or flipped over the board. I don't get it.
So when you have your son and you guys end up going to that Phillies game where he can remember it, not when he's like 6 months old, but when he's 5 years old, 6 years old. If a guy the row behind you catches it and keeps it himself, looks at your kid and keeps it himself. Are you giving him attitude? You saying something to him, or are you just like kind of just giving him the side eye?
I don't think I'd say something. Like, I probably wouldn't, because it's his right to keep it.
And it's confrontation.
But it's just kind of like if the kid starts crying, like that kid was in tears.
Yeah.
If the kid starts crying,
very much so.
You give up the ball or the puck that you're going to put in a box at some point after a week. Like that's all. Like, that's all you do.
I get it.
But no, listen, if a guy wants to hold on to it, whatever. But it's like, to me, I just go, really? Like, whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm a different breed. What do I know? Let's go to the phones. John in Long Branch. John, you're on the Fanatic.
Yo, what up, Tunas?
What's up, John?
About ball thing, man. I was at a spring training game once in 08, and Jason Worth hit a foul ball. And I was sitting in like the aisle seat where the stairs are, and people come down with concessions. And the ball like bounced off the railing and landed under a seat, next to me. And the kid was it was like a 12-year-old kid. He was all excited. He was trying to get underneath it. I could have easily grabbed and swiped and grabbed it, but I kind of sat there and just let him grab it. And then cameras
and
on.
listen, if you catch it right, you probably have that instant moment of I was the guy who caught the foul ball. But then it's like, I'm not saying as soon as you catch it, you have the plan to give it to somebody. Like, I caught the foul ball, sat down, I was pumped. My buddy was with me, fist pound. And then I saw the girl behind me, the little girl. I'm just like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah, you got to give it to the kid.
There you go. Here you go. Have fun with this.
Yeah, if you don't give it to the kid, that's a violation.
Which is why I see this lady, and she did have a poster of the guy, and it kind of did look like he hand-delivered it to her, but it was a toss between her and the kid. And if the kid starts having a meltdown, come on.
Yeah, no, you can't do that, man, especially when they're sitting right next to you. You got to get
it. Come on.
Yeah, I agree. But, hey, I called to make some people some money today, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man, James Harden. He's 4 3-pointers away from passing Reggie Miller, third 3-pointers in all time. 4 away. It's 2.5, the over-under. Bet the over, man. I'm telling you, it's plus 106 on FanDuel.
Wow.
Make some money tonight. Hey,
now,
I got one more thing, man. I got to get going.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. But play the song, man.
There you go. Play the song. Thanks, John. I appreciate the call, man. Now, that's a good play. Now, let me check something. Because I can find a way to make you even more money. Now, John, that's a smart bet. You take the over 2.5 threes made for James Harden, because James Harden is 4 threes away, he said, away from breaking Reggie Miller's record. Now, you can, on FanDuel, bet X amount of threes made. 5 is the max. So I can bet 4+ threes made, not 4.5, but 4+, so 4 or more. And James Harden comes in at plus 280. So that's double, more than double what he just gave us. Now, if he only hits 3, you obviously lose the bet, but your 2.5 would hit. So that's probably the smarter way to do it. But if you're thinking that's what's going to happen, John, if you're still listening, I would go under player threes on FanDuel Sportsbook. James Harden, 4+ threes is plus 280. So that's double your money. Almost triple.
I'm trying to look at his game log recently and now we're finally loading up. So from 3-pointers since he's been on the Sixers, Minnesota, he went 5 for 7. That's when he tied Ben Simmons' all-time Sixers mark in the
one
first game. Yeah. 5 for 7 against Minnesota, 3 for 7 against the Knicks on Sunday, and then he went 2 for 6 on Wednesday. So he's putting the shots up.
Yes.
I mean, he's averaging, 6.5 a game there? So
it could be one of those, if he's feeling it, he takes more. I'm just saying, if you think the 2.5 hits, you put that down, but I would also put a little bit down the 4+, because you can put those as separate bets. If that's what you're thinking, John, and if others agree with John that he goes to try to break Reggie Miller's record today, or pass Reggie Miller today, I think you do the plus 280. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you as always. I do have the whiteboard behind me over my left shoulder. Now, I'm trying to make this work as best as possible. We don't have a little whiteboard that I could actually hold up. I'm going to be in the market for that. I'm going to make a pit stop to Target after the show. But I do have the giant whiteboard. So over my left shoulder, I feel like a weatherman here. Over my left shoulder here, you see the no list coming through. So no R right now. Now, my head is blocking what would be the letters that are there. But I'll try to make this work as best as possible. So no R right now in Sixers 4-for-4 Wordle. Now, Tom, I'm going to ask you, can you give me a letter? I want you to take a guess at a letter.
I would love to. And I'm going to guess a vowel.
Yes, which is the smart move.
Can I have an E, Andrew?
There's no E.
Really?
I'm going to put down the board right now. If you're watching on YouTube, no E. No E. But you should always guess a vowel. All right. Let's go to Jordan in Conshohocken. Jordan, you're on the Fanatic.
Hey, Chernus, love the show, man. How's it going?
Thanks, Jordan. I'm doing great. How are you, man?
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. Love listening to the show. Don't get a chance too often during the day just because of work and busy, but I know my brother does. Always streaming the show out in Pittsburgh. And
we'll give a yo to your brother. What's his name?
His name's Jason, but you know what? I was calling in because I wanted to bust his chops real quick about a little bit of a story that happened to us a few years back, and it was a similar incident regarding the hockey puck.
Oh, no.
But then you started talking about Zach Hempel, and I have an even more amazing story about, so I'll try and get through both real quick.
All right, please.
So, a couple years back, this is 2017, 2018, and every opportunity I get to bust his chops, especially over a public setting I'm going to. We're standing in Diamond Club, Phillies game. It was a Sunday afternoon game. Beautiful day. My wife, his wife, and my brother. So Pop-Up comes back right on that platform where they have a couple of tables that are sitting there. And my brother's a 35-year-old man. He loses his mind like a kid in a candy store. So ball comes back, bounces off the platform, hits off the doors that let you underneath the Diamond Club. He sprints after this ball with his Coke in his hand, spills the Coke everywhere. There's about 7 kids that are also chasing the ball.
Oh, no.
My brother picks up the ball, starts jumping up and down for joy. 35-year-old man, right? So he's walking back to me, and everyone in the Diamond Club is disgusted at this man. Just absolutely disgusted. So I tell my brother, it's like, dude, you got to give that ball to a kid. You just got to find a kid.
Yeah, or you're going to get those eyes the rest of the day. You're just trying to have a good time. Diamond Club, nice seats. You're just having a good time. You're getting eyes, man.
He sees this after like 3 seconds, bends over, gives the ball to this little girl in front of us, and then all of a sudden my man becomes a hero.
Well, yeah, okay, good.
Just like that. So second thing, Bryce Harper's first home run in Citizens Bank Park was actually caught by Zach Hempel in right field. So it was a Sunday night game. I was at the game sitting in right field. In the middle of the 5th inning, I see Zach Hempel in Ashburn Alley, and this is all on YouTube. You can actually look it up. I'm in the video, too.
Okay.
He's in center field doing a cheesesteak review in the same YouTube video on his channel. So I talked to him for about 10 minutes. And at the time, I was actually BSing with him. He had established a relationship then with Lisa Ann. It was kind of like a long story.
Okay.
So I see him in the 7th inning. Bryce Harper comes to bat. I turn around and I see him there. I was like, Zach, what are you doing there? And he's probably, 13, 14 rows back. He says something back to me. And I said, well, you're in the wrong effing row, pal. So next pitch, I kid you not, next pitch, Bryce Harper hits a line drive, deep right center field, lands directly in this man's glove.
Oh, my
God. The
God.
video is on YouTube. I FaceTimed my wife at the time. I'm on his YouTube video calling my wife just out of pure disbelief that my man caught this ball. The guy is a wizard, man.
Yeah, it is. I'll be honest, I do kind of respect it, which is why I said to Tom, like, he makes money off of it, so I do kind of respect it. It is kind of crazy.
For sure.
But, at least I don't know. I don't think he's doing it to be a D. I think it's just, he's
definitely
Like, it would have been bad if your brother doesn't give up the ball. Now, I think Zach should give up the ball because he's got thousands of them, but whatever.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look, my brother doesn't give up the ball. He's for the rest of the game in Diamond Club history. He's one of the biggest villains of all time.
Right.
But look, I was there looking out for my man. I'm going to hold it over his head to this day. He didn't have, at that time, 25,000 fans in Citizens Bank Park thinking he was the worst person in the world. So
yeah, exactly. It's good work. Now, George, you quickly give me a letter for 4 for 4 words.
Yeah, let me buy a vowel. Let me go with an A.
There is an A. It's the third letter.
So I get a guess here?
Yeah, just give it a shot.
Is it Chase?
No, it is not. It is not. I appreciate the call. But it is the third letter. I'll write that up in the board during the break. But the third letter is an A. Now, if you were listening closer, I didn't say Philly 4 forward just right away. I said a specific team. So that kind of gave away a little bit of a clue.
Let that one slip. Yeah.
Yeah. So Chase is not correct. And I'll say it's not that team. It's the team that I accidentally let slip if you were listening closely. So hopefully you can get that. 610-632-0975. But there is an A, third letter. You're playing for a 4-pack of tickets to the Philly Auto Show. Now, let me go through this real quick with you, Tom. The list of top 20 most despised is the word they use. Most despised NFL-associated players.
Strong.
Or people, because it's not just players. You want to take a shot at one of them.
I'm going to guess Roger Goodell is up there.
Roger Goodell is indeed up there. I believe he's 9th on this list.
Really? That seems low.
He is 9th on this list.
Okay. I'm going to go Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is not.
He's not in the 20 most despised.
Nope.
What? That is ridiculous.
Sorry, Goodell is 8th. But yeah, he is not on this list. And again, they used searches on Twitter. They typed in "I hate" and then players' names, bleep people, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, Tom Brady not on the list. I'll let you guess one more.
I'm going to go a different quarterback, maybe for different reasons. Aaron Rodgers,
number 1. So your different reasons is correct.
See,
now,
I think that's a little ridiculous.
It is, but you have to imagine that it's not just football fans.
Yeah,
he's on podcasts that people don't like. Yep. He has his views that people don't agree with. He was the most open when it came to politics, vaccines, all that kind of stuff, right? So that's why he's number 1 on the list, because you have to imagine, just like how there are non-sports fans watching the Sixers right now, there are non-sports fans that disliked Aaron Rodgers, that tweeted about Aaron Rodgers. He more than doubled the person who was in second.
That's insane to me.
They came up with 266,850 negative tweets about Aaron Rodgers. Number 2 on the list was 107,000. So more than doubled. You want to take a stab at who number 2 is? Wide receiver. I'll give you a guess.
I don't think I got anything.
You have to think deeper.
I know. I'm sure. Well, it threw me off from Goodell being so low. And
it's
Brady,
wide receiver, but he deals with all. It's not just on the field.
I got nothing.
Maybe he jumping jacked off the field.
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown is number 2.
Bad job by me.
So we'll continue to go through this list. I thought it was really cool. I went through it with Anthony and our program director, Chuck D'Amico, off the air yesterday. It was a lot of fun. They did a pretty damn good job getting close to all 20 here. So we'll have some fun with that. Again, you have to think a little bit deeper for some of these, because it's not just whether or not they hate the player. There's one person on here that I actually really like as a guy, but he is so hated as a player, especially in Cleveland at the quarterback position. I'll give that away. It's Baker Mayfield. I think he's hilarious with the commercials. I think his commercials are all good.
He seems like a good dude.
I'm glad he's not my quarterback, but Tyrone's shaking his head in there. Listen, I'm glad he's not my quarterback, but I think the commercials are pretty funny. So I go, all right, I don't really.
He's a likable guy.
I don't go, I hate Baker Mayfield. Yeah, exactly. So he's 9th on that list. We'll have some more fun with this. 610-632-0975. Final hour ahead. We'll continue to get the more calls. And, of course, 4 for 4 Wordle. Right now, the only thing you know is that the third letter is an A. And as we said yesterday, if you guess the letter that ends up being the last letter of the word, we will let you know that that's the last letter so that you understand, so that you know how many letters are there. We'll tell you all that kind of stuff. By the way, 12 o'clock hour is brought to us by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for 72 months and a $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. I'm Andrew Salchunas filling in for the Cuz right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers get their backup center. I'm Tom Malbord, and this update is brought to you by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Unused prescription opioids can spell harm if taken by someone they weren't prescribed for. Find safe drug take-back options at fda.gov/drug disposal. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Yes, the Sixers announced yesterday that they've agreed to terms with veteran free agent center DeAndre Jordan after he was released from the Lakers earlier in the week. An all-star in 2017, Jordan spent the majority of his career playing under Sixers head coach Doc Rivers with the LA Clippers. The 33-year-old Jordan is averaging a career-low 4.1 points and 12.8 minutes played per game this season. Jordan will look to give the Sixers some much-needed rebounding help, however, as they rank 29th in the NBA in rebounds per game. No word yet on when Jordan will make his debut. The Sixers are looking for their fourth straight win with James Harden as the starting point guard tonight in Philadelphia against the Cavaliers. The Sixers currently sit at 38-23 on the season, just 2.5 games out of the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. You can listen to tonight's game right here on The Fanatic. Tip-off's at 7 o'clock. And the Flyers lose another one, falling to the Minnesota Wild 5-4 at home last night. It's their eighth loss in their last 9 games. They blew 4 separate leads in that game last night. They look to bounce back tomorrow against the Blackhawks. You can listen to that game on The Fanatic as well. Make sure to tune in tonight at 6 p.m. for Draft Lines with Devon Gibbons and Jamie Lynch as they get you ready for Sixers Cavs. Keep it locked to Fanatic all day for breaking news and information. I'm Tom Malborn, and you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic.
And Gargano, weekdays 10 to 2 on 97.5 The Fanatic.
When it comes to cybersecurity, the biggest threats don't always strike the biggest targets. Almost half of all cyber attacks target small businesses. So help protect yours with Comcast Business Security Edge. It's advanced security that continuously scans for threats and helps protect every connected device. On the largest, fastest, reliable network with speeds up to 10 gigs to the most small businesses. So switch today and get cutting-edge speed with advanced security and be ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security, together for just $69.99 a month for 12 months with a 3-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get free installation when you order online. Or find out how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying bundle. Call or go online today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New Comcast Business 100 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Prepaid card offer ends 3/31/22.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Come on, one more rep. You got this. 10. There it is. Nice work, man. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The big hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text ENERGY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Thermal, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help get you back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text ENERGY to 321-321. That's ENERGY to 321-321.
Hi, Leif Erickson in Snow Country, brought to you by Smuggler's Notch, Vermont, America's family resort where family fun is guaranteed. Visit smugs.com. The nearby slopes are still fully covered in deep snow, no matter what you see out your window or during your commute. They'll stay that way for quite a while. We still have a full month of great skiing left at nearby spots with the most skiing they've had all winter. Northern slopes are still loving the pack powder from last week's snow and this week's frequent snow squalls. Spring Mountain with 7 runs as they go till 9 under the lights. Bear Creek still with all 23 trails and 10 tubing lanes for fast downhill fun. Shawnee Mountain, all 23 runs, stretching out to about 6 miles of well-groomed terrain. Blue Mountain with 39 runs, still stacked deeply with Camelback on 39 trails and plenty of tubing. Heading to Vermont, more flurries for spots like Stratton Mountain. Nice, soft, smooth snow on 86 runs there. More details at snowcountry.com. I'm Leif Erickson.
Not long ago, I wouldn't even leave my house.
Addiction had such a hold on me.
I was a stranger in my own life.
My sister told me about 844-REACH-NJ.
I learned about medication that could support recovery.
And it's working for me.
With medication supporting my recovery, I'm moving forward.
844-REACH-NJ was my first step back into life.
And it feels amazing.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Call 844-REACH-NJ to learn about medication that can support your recovery. A message from the New Jersey Department of Human Services.
Chloe here with Cross Country Mortgage. Against all odds, CCM has just closed the Garcia's dream home in 21 days. I was able to speak with their top loan officer before they went into the locker room, and he said it was a matter of dedication. Ultimately, they leaned on their experience as a team. They've been here before. They've done all types of loans. Simply put, CCM loan officers know how to close as a team for your dream home. Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done. Back to you in the studio. Cross Country Mortgage, LLC, NMLS 3029, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing opportunity.
My sign is a potential customer's first impression, so it needs to be perfect.
It's possible at Staples.
There are 4 other bakeries within 5 blocks of here. My shop needs to stand out.
Also possible. With Staples print and marketing services, small businesses can print big with wide format signs and banners. Right now, get $10 off custom printed signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. Create your sign at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 3/26. Visit staples.com/signage for details.
To demonstrate the power of Cricket Nationwide 5G, we brought in this monster truck. And to tell you Cricket 5G is available on every plan at no extra charge, we brought in this fleet of monster trucks. Now that's power! Get powerful nationwide 5G on all plans at no extra charge. Plus a Cricket Dream 5G phone free when you switch. Tastes like power too. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Must bring your number to Cricket on a $60 a month plan. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook wants you to experience Rush Pay. When you want to cash out your winnings, you don't want to wait 2 days just to get the go-ahead to withdraw your money. That's why Bet Rivers created Rush Pay. With Rush Pay, 80% of withdrawal requests are approved instantly, meaning you'll get your money faster. Why wait? Get your cash when you want it. Bet with a winner. Bet with Bet Rivers Sportsbook at betrivers.com. Presented by Rivers Casino Pittsburgh. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Home of 76ers basketball and Flyers hockey.
Plug in.
97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Oh, boy. 1 o'clock. 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Andrew Salchunas, filling in for the Cuz. Anthony will be back on Monday. Got all kinds of stuff going on. We have a lot of Sixers talk, obviously, as it will be for the coming weeks, months here on 97.5 The Fanatic. We got a game tonight, 7 o'clock. They take on the Cavs, and there are still doubters out there, which confuses the hell out of me. There are people that are living in fear, which I don't understand. If you are living in fear, please call in so we can talk about it. And explain to me why you live in fear. Oh, but they lost Game 7 last year, the Hawks. It's different now, man. It's different. Don't give me that Game 7 nonsense. Don't give me back in 1975, they were supposed to win, but they... What? It's a different century. Like, come on. So I want to hear from the people that are living in fear or the people that are like me. They're just fired up, enjoying the ride. And also, we opened up this last segment. The new listeners, new fans, new everything. The people that you know that are new. Like, I want to hear from you guys or hear from somebody that knows somebody that is jumping on the Sixers bandwagon. They haven't really been a Sixers fan for a long time. Maybe they were tuned out by the process and they didn't like it, even though they were short-sighted and didn't understand what great things the process could bring. But here we are now. There's a legitimate title contender in this city with the Philadelphia 76ers. So I want to hear from all of you, 610-632-0975. We also have 4 for 4 Wordle going on right now. The only thing we have is the third letter is an A. I have it on the whiteboard behind me for our YouTube viewers. So far, one letter. It's the third letter, the letter A. Now, speaking of a team that is not a title contender, Mike Yeo speaking to the media. Did you know that Claude Giroux's trade rumors are a distraction to the team?
I didn't know. Is that why they're losing so much?
Yeah, Mike Yeo said it's a real difficult time for him, which, okay, I understand that. Claude Giroux's been here for a long time. He's coming up to 1,000 games played in the NHL, all for the Flyers, which is really cool. That's awesome. But, I'm sorry. Is Carter Hart distracted by Claude Giroux potentially being traded when they suck? Distraction to the team. Like, what are you
It's professional sports. It's a business. You're the head coach. Make it not be a distraction.
Yeah, guys get traded, and I get it. Claude's probably the leader of the team, I think, right? He's the captain, so duh. I don't understand. Like,
It just seems like they're just doing and saying nothing right at this point.
Yeah.
With anything, with everything and anything.
Yeah, it's just like going back to the press conference where Dave Scott had the nerve to say that COVID regulations, and again, I don't give a damn what you think when it comes to restrictions and masks and vaccines. We can all agree that the Flyers just suck. And when the Flyers are playing poorly, you don't want to go to a game. And now that everything is lifted and there's nobody there last night, what's the excuse now? There is none. And I hope he doesn't have another press conference and go, hey, didn't know if you guys heard, but the restrictions are gone. Like, don't give me that.
Come on out.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried pulling that card, but it just doesn't work. It's tough right now, man. It sucks because I love that team, and I'll be completely honest with you guys. Did not watch a second of it last night.
I was, as I said earlier, cutting highlights, and I didn't watch as much as I should have.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to.
I am still, I love pain, apparently. There was that snow day, right? It was on a Saturday, I believe it was.
Like a month ago, right?
My dog, all she wanted to do was play in the snow. I was watching the Flyers. I do like a 1 o'clock hockey game.
Nice matinee.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, it was very cozy. We were under the covers and all that stuff, and you hear the whoosh, whoosh, whoosh of the ice. And I'm like, this is a nice sound.
Relaxing.
And they broke the losing streak that day. That was the second 10-game losing streak. They broke that one. But yeah, I still watch them. The other night, the Sixers were. It was the Milwaukee game where they were an 8 o'clock tip off, and the Flyers had a 7 o'clock puck drop. So what did I do? I watched them for the hour leading up, and I'm like, what am I doing to myself? So last night I didn't watch the second of.
Yeah, and it sucks because when the Flyers are good, it's a lot of fun.
Oh my God, it's a blast!
A couple years ago, before COVID, when they were making a legit run, and I believe favorited to win the cup according to a certain sports book. That was a lot of fun. Then COVID hits, and it sucks. But we still saw some optimism. We saw where the team could go. They had some young players. Connecting was thriving with Carter Hart. Now it's just like, what is going on? What are we doing? Where are we going? And, it'd be so nice to have something to pair with the Sixers run that we're going to get.
Yes.
Especially with no baseball now happening or not anytime soon. And
Thank God for the Sixers because you know me, I'm a big baseball fan. I know you're a big baseball fan. It just sucks that we wouldn't have it, but thank God for the Sixers because they're going to have – it's something that we're going to be talking about constantly, not just on the radio. I'm just saying in terms of, being a sports fan. It's going to be nice having them almost every single night.
Yeah, could you imagine this if, the Harden move didn't go down and we still had Simmons sitting out along with this baseball stuff and
it would
Flyers?
suck. It would suck, and we'd be turning our attention to the Eagles right now. And if you want to talk Eagles, I mentioned it. We haven't really played any of the cuts, but Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman said that Hurts is still their guy moving forward. Sirianni had the balls to say he can make all the throws, which he can't. But you're going to say that obviously you're the guy's coach. You're going to it's better to take that approach, even if you're lying, than it is what the Colts are doing with Carson Wentz, where they're basically like, yeah, this guy sucks.
That's the first thing I thought of. I would rather you go up there and lie than completely cripple your franchise for the offseason because now everybody knows you don't want Carson
look
Wentz.
At Howie Roseman. As much as I don't like a lot of the things he does, he was smart to say that Carson Wentz is like one of the fingers on his hand, and he couldn't imagine not having 5 fingers on his hand or five toes on his foot. All this kind of stuff. And then they flipped him for a first-round pick.
Worked out very well.
Worked out perfectly. Whereas the Colts aren't going to get anything for him. So if he doesn't get traded, he's either going to be released or they're going to stick with him for another year. And I'm sure that's going to be not a bloodbath. Or they just...
Yeah, it's going to go so well.
They just talked down on him the entire offseason. Now all of a sudden he's going to be playing what? He's going to play great?
I'm sure Carson's going to love that.
Yeah. And then my next question is if Carson does move on, is he going to be the same person? But whatever. But yeah, Jalen Hurts is still the guy moving forward. I kind of expected that. When the Russell Wilson rumors started going away, I didn't see why they would trade for Derek Carr. I would love to trade for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think that's going to happen. Jimmy Garoppolo, what are you really doing? You're putting tape over your quarterback position right now.
For a lot more money.
Yeah, so none of that stuff makes sense to me, which I imagine I'm not a general manager in the NFL. I would imagine it doesn't make sense for Howie Roseman either. The only other possibility, and I don't want him, is Deshaun Watson, but it is a possibility. It's something that we're going to have to come to terms with. It might end up happening, but if it doesn't, I don't think they draft any of these quarterbacks. So Jalen Hurts your guy next year. I'm not thrilled about it, but I've kind of come to terms with it. I said this earlier, you know that there are going to be people that talk themselves into thinking Hurts is going to have this great second season as a starter and this is the right decision and blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's going to happen, but so be it. He'll be the quarterback next year, and we'll see whether or not he gets better. I do ask this question. He's not working out this offseason. He had to get surgery. So for everybody that thinks he's like going to get better with this offseason, he's not. Now, he might get better at OTAs if he's ready to go by then, right? Training camp, if he's ready to go by then. But he got surgery on his ankle. So he's not, like, he did all the Quincy Avery workouts last year, which I think is great. Like, I love that he was working as hard as he was last year with Quincy Avery, great quarterback coach. But, you know, he's not doing that this offseason. He's obviously working out, but there's a lot of things he can't do. So I have my doubts. 610-632-0975. So let's head back to the phones. Let's talk to Drew in Westchester. Drew, you're on the Fanatic. Yo, Drew. Drew may have us on mute. I'll put him on hold so we can check on him. Let's go to Brandon in Kutztown. Brandon, you're on the Fanatic.
Yo, and how you doing, man?
What's up, Brandon?
I'm chilling. Just first off, I just got to say thank you. You put a big smile on my face very often. So, you know, in the world with not a lot of smiles, you find you're able to put one on my face. So
I hope you're talking about me, but I'm sure you're talking about Anthony Gargano.
I'm talking about you, Andrew.
Oh, it sounded like you said Ant.
No, I said and.
Okay. Well, thanks, man.
It did sound like Ant.
It sounded like Ant. All right. Well, man, it puts a smile on my face. Thank you, Brandon.
Of course. But man,
you put a smile on my face.
Thank you. But man, I'm very hyped with this whole Harden thing.
Yes.
I was arguing about Nate for months. He was trying to get Halliburton in his own package. I couldn't take it.
Listen, Halliburton, I think he's going to be an okay ball player. Like, I really do. But he's averaging. Everybody fell in love because he put up 40 against the Sixers in Philadelphia, and they'd ignored the fact that he was a 14-point-a-game guy.
Exactly. And the difference is Halliburton will find the open man. Harden creates open.
Yeah, and that's why I talk about that moment where he does the step back and two guys come after him, so he kicks it over to Maxey in the corner who has an easy baseline layup.
Exactly. And the same thing happened again. He stepped back and then he dumped it down to Embiid in the post.
Yeah, because both guys came after him. Yeah, I mean, he does that. And as great of a facilitator as Ben Simmons is, I will continue to say that there's a lot of things that Ben Simmons does well. But because they don't have to respect his shot, it just makes it so much more dangerous, man.
Exactly. As soon as he picks the ball up off the floor, you know you're sagging off. You're in Embiid's lap and you're double.
Yeah, man, he loves it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Now you have a guess for Wordle?
Yes, I do. I think I got the answer. I don't even. I'll start with the G.
No G. And were you gonna guess Niang?
I was.
No. Somebody already guessed it on Twitter too. Thanks for the call, Brandon. I appreciate it. No, it is not Niang. It is not.
It's a good guess though. It is. Very confident. Very confident.
So no G. At least he guessed the letter first, because we had the guy the other day that guessed Harris, which made no sense. But he guessed Harris, but guess a letter first.
Just to make sure.
Because if that letter's not in it, then you go, oh crap. I'm out of luck here. But at least he guessed the letter first. But no G in the 4-for-4 Wordle right now. Now let's go to my man in Westchester. You have the rel. Tom's got it ready. Uncle Frank. What's up, Frank?
Happy Friday, squad.
Happy Friday, Uncle Frank.
How you doing, Tom?
What's going on, Uncle Frank?
You know what? My boss texted you about you yesterday, Uncle Frank.
Yeah, what?
He texted. No, it was Chuck.
Okay.
He says, "Dude, the Uncle Frank show." So I responded with, "If we ever need a Saturday 8 p.m. to midnight shift in August covered, you got it, man." Because I think
want me then, man.
No. That's exactly when we want you, because I've done those shifts. It's not fun. In August on a Saturday night, not many people around. So I think you could talk to the clouds for 4 hours.
Honest to God, I would do it, but it has to be before I start sipping clear.
Okay. That's why you just don't drink when you're on the air. It's not that hard.
I do not. So listen, I don't like to call out during the week, but
you don't?
What? You zapped me so hard the other day, ashes came off my head.
You don't like calling during the week. It's the biggest lie you've ever told.
I don't like to call.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's not true!
Tom, what is it? It's conspiracy. All
right, go on.
All right, can I take a shot at like the NFL Twitter hate?
Yeah, give me 3 guesses because we gotta keep this train moving, my man.
Yeah, all right. Well, the hoodie's still relevant.
He is number 3 on the list. So Rodgers 1, Antonio Brown 2, Bill Belichick 3.
How about OBJ?
OBJ is 4th on the list.
All right, I might be taking over your job.
You should.
How about what's his name? Rockface, Granite Face out there, Jerry.
Oh, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is on here. He's 12th. So there you go. Yeah, look at you, 3 for 3. I'm proud of you, Uncle Frank.
Oh man.
And you got 3 and 4. That's good work out of you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So you guys think Doc's feeling any heat since the eel delivered the beard to him on a silver platter now?
No. No. I said this even before the trade happened because Doc Rivers, I didn't like remember when Doc was getting snippy with Keith Pompey and other members of the media? I didn't like it because he was acting as if his back was up against the wall. And I wanted somebody to pull him aside and just be like, yo, dude, you're only in your 2nd season. You're fine. You know what I mean? Unless they had they weren't bad at that time. Nobody was blaming him for losses during the COVID issues they were having. Nobody was blaming him, but he was acting as if people were, bringing torches to him.
Yeah, the hair standing up. Yeah. What the heck was I going to say?
All right, guess a letter.
Anyway, so listen. Leave that for the younger.
Guess one letter.
All right. O.
There is an O.
I am on fire.
It is. I got to do math real quick. It's the 5th letter.
All right. I can't even guess.
All right, then you're done. But thank you for the call. So there is an O. Sorry, it's the 6th letter. I'm trying to do math here because I don't have it written down because I don't know what YouTube can see. Here, hold on. I have to do this. I don't trust any of you. All right. So here you go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is the 6th letter. 6th letter. So we have an O and an A. A is the 3rd letter. I do have that one correct. I will put it up on the board in a second. But yes, there is an O.
How about Uncle Frank? He gets 3 for 3.
Yeah, he has a strong day for Uncle Frank.
On the NFL list and then gets a letter.
And he just gets picked on the whole time, too. So that is a strong call for Uncle Frank.
Someone who doesn't call very often.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I don't understand where that came from. But for somebody who gets picked on constantly, he had a very strong showing on the phones today.
He felt the pressure and still made the throw.
He really did.
I appreciate that.
Now, you want to take another guess on the list? Now, my man Rob Manoff checked, and he was wondering if just to confirm, it's not just players. That's why Uncle Frank asked Jerry Jones. Rob guessed 2 of them in the DMs, and he's right because they're not players. Can you take another guess? Most hated NFL-related people as of last season.
Oh, the NFL. I thought we were going Wordle. The NFL, so we have what? Jerry Jones.
That's 12th on the
Goodell.
list.
How about Big Ben Roethlisberger?
No,
he's
not
on
on here because apparently he was a Saint.
Yeah, I guess so. Real stand.
That was the weirdest thing. To all the networks, ESPN, Fox, ABC, CBS, NFL Network. We're just gonna ignore.
Like the going away tour for him. Yeah.
We're just gonna ignore what he did.
Yeah, no, that was odd. I felt the same.
I get Pittsburgh, fans turn a blind eye, which isn't right. But like the people that applauded Odubel Herrera when he got 1 hit, just stupid. Guys are terrible people. Yeah, the Pittsburgh thing, okay, fine. But no, it was ESPN was oh, pray for you, Ben. What? Really? Whatever. Drew in Westchester. Drew, you're on the Fanatic.
Yeah, Tunis. Sorry, I was on the phone, went weird.
You're good. You're good. What's up, man?
Hey, dude. So I got a good hockey-related puck story. So this was in 1997, and I just turned 21. So I'll leave the rest to your imagination.
I'm sure you had a beer too.
Yeah, maybe something like that. So I'm sitting maybe 10 rows behind the opposite player's bench, and I'm a Penguins fan, so I'll sit behind their bench. And I'm sitting there with a buddy of mine, and, again, it's 3rd period, so it was late. And all of a sudden, my buddy, taps me, and he's like, you okay? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, that puck just totally nailed you in the head and bounced off you. Like, I totally,
God.
like, I puck came, like, I mean, it just, like, I guess, like, somebody tried catching it, and then it bounced off, like, my head and rolled down the row. So the guy picks it up, older gentleman, and I say, yo, bro, I said, any chance I could get that puck from you? It just totally hit me in the head. And, of course, I was in no state to be talking to anyone.
Right.
He's like, no way, man. He's like, it's my birthday today. I'm not giving you this puck. And I was like, all right, no problem. And then all of a sudden, a security guy came and, like, thought we were having an altercation. And actually ended up, like, escorting me out of the building because of, needless to say,
Well, you probably had a beer, too. So.
Yeah, I had a beer or two. So, but it was, a funny time.
It was a good birthday party for you.
Yeah, right. So the guy got the puck. It was his birthday, so good for him, But I took the damage.
Yes, of course you did.
All right. Anyway, I'm kind of all over the place. I was going to talk to you about baseball, but I don't even know what there is to say about it, man. I'm not a baseball fan by
Just
nature.
be angry. Just be angry. That's all there is to it, man. You don't have to defend the sport. You don't do anything. Just be angry with the sport, man. It's stupid.
I'm not even angry with it, bro. It's like, I just don't even care anymore. Like,
yeah, which is bad, and that's their biggest problem. Now I know you're a big hockey fan, but that doesn't matter. You should, I'm sure you still like the sport when it's actually being played. But
I mean, I'll put on a game in the summer and try to enjoy it, but I don't know what to do. Like, I mean, tell me, what do I? I mean, you just be mad and just not care. I mean, it's just like whatever.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. It's a shame. It's. And there's people that defend the owners. I don't understand it. Are players greedy? Fine. They're the ones that you're coming for. Like, I'm not watching the Philadelphia Middletons. You know what I mean? Well, I'm watching the Phillies, and I'm watching Bryce Harper, and I'm watching the other players involved. So they're trying to get more money. Go for it.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, just make it.
And it ends up like if you look at what the players are asking for, what the league is offering, it's not that big of a disparity. So you go, dude, really? Like, you guys are billionaires. Just
it's like you're playing a game for a living, guys. Come on, like
yeah. Drew, I hear you. Can you give a letter for us, man?
All right, let's go with my initial D.
No D.
Mistakes.
I love that you got that. Now I should have given him a guess, but whatever. I should have given a guess. Can you give me one more letter before we head to break? And Luke's going to give us one soon, too.
Yeah, I can't see. Do you have the letters guessed wrong up there? Because I can't see.
Yes, R, E, and G, and now a D.
I am going to go with an S. If you haven't heard me.
No S.
Okay.
No S. I just wrote it down. No S.
That's a huge loss.
So we got one segment left. We have a 4-pack of auto show tickets up for grabs for the winner of 4 for 4 Wordle. It is not George Niang, as Jared Thomas asked on social media, and we had our caller call in, also thought it was Niang. It is not George Niang. Now, I let it slip earlier when I said Sixers Wordle. So it is a Sixer, and I said player. I did say name. So there's your 2 clues. You have the 3rd letter in A, and the 6th letter in O. All right? I don't know. I can't tell you how many letters there are, but it's pretty close to what it is now. All right? There may be one more letter. Maybe 7 letters in the name. So there's another clue for you. 610-632-0975. We got a segment coming up. I'll let you know everything that is coming on The Fanatic today because there is a lot. Of course, the Mike Missinelli Show at 2 o'clock. He's got stuff coming your way, and there's a lot more to listen to on The Fanatic tonight because the Sixers are back in action. Now, I love betting my favorite sports and finding new player props or game props on FanDuel Sportsbook in partnership with Valley Forge. What's cool about it is combining prop bets from multiple games and now even multiple sports. It's called Same Game Parlay Plus, and they are only on FanDuel. So you can combine NBA player props you love with your favorite NHL scores for a chance at an even bigger payout. I've told the story before. The player performance doubles. It's one of my favorite things to do. I actually hit on a nice size parlay. It was really 8 legs, but because you needed the team to win, you have to double it. So it's 16. I had a 16-leg parlay almost a year ago to this date. It was a lot of fun, and you can do the same thing. I had a couple of NHL, NBA, and MLB props in that same game parlay, or with that big parlay there. So the Parlay Plus, here's what you can do. Tonight, you can have a lot of fun with the Sixers. But tomorrow, you got another Sixers game against the Heat, and it's also a day when the Orange and Black play against Chicago. Chicago stinks, but here's one thing you can always do. Take a couple goal scorers against our squad, and then put a lot of props down on the Sixers, all right? Check out their popular same-game parlay section where you can join the bets other users are jumping on. Last month, Over 14,000 customers won a total of $1.1 million all in one game, Milwaukee at LA. If you're new to FanDuel, just sign up with promo code Fanatic to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Just use promo code Fanatic so they know that I sent you. Must be 21 plus and present in PA. First online real money wager only. Refund issues non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers back in action tonight. I'm Tom Alvord, and this update is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance, where you only pay for what you need. Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Yes, James Harden and the Philadelphia 76ers will be looking for their fourth straight win since the All-Star break tonight in Philadelphia against Cavaliers. Philly comes into the game just 2.5 games back of the Miami Heat for first place in the Eastern Conference with 21 games remaining on the season. The Sixers last faced the Cavs 3 weeks ago where they won 103-93 despite not having James Harden due to a hamstring injury. They look to have a similar outcome tonight, and you can listen to that game right here on The Fanatic. Tip-offs at 7 o'clock. In other news, the Sixers announced that they've signed veteran center DeAndre Jordan to a deal for the remainder of the season. The 33-year-old former All-Star averaged just over 4 points and 5 rebounds in 32 games for the Lakers this season, playing about 12 minutes a game. The 76ers also announced they will release Willie Cauley-Stein to make room for Jordan. Cauley-Stein played a total of 5 minutes as a 76er, and the Flyers lose another one, falling to the Minnesota Wild 5-4. It's their 8th loss in the last 9 games. They look to bounce back tomorrow against the Blackhawks. You can listen to that game right here on the Fanatic as well. And Puck Drop is at 3 o'clock. Make sure you tune in tonight at 6 p.m. for Draft Lines with Devon Givens and Jamie Lynch as they get you ready for Sixers-Cavs. Also, make sure you tune into the Mike Missinelli Show at 4 o'clock as Brian Westbrook joins the show. Keep it locked to the Fanatic all day for breaking news and information. I'm Tom Alvord, and you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic.
It's the Anthony Gargano Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. The 2022 NFL Draft starts on April 28th. This is another possible pick player profile. Here's Jamie Lynch.
David Ojabo, redshirt sophomore from the University of Michigan, edge rusher, standing at 6'5", 250 pounds. A little green in that he didn't start playing football until his junior year of high school after being born in Nigeria and moving to Scotland at the age of 7. Yet David Ojabo shows many of the flash plays that NFL GMs drool over. He might ultimately be more suited for a 3-4 defense, but he could be a rotational edge rusher day one rookie year. I expect the Eagles to have some interest in David Ojabo, edge rusher from the University of Michigan. This draft report is brought to you by North Penn Mazda. For the 7th year in a row, North Penn is a Mazda President's Award winner, an honor earned only by the top dealerships in the country.
This has been another possible pick player profile on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
If you're planning on hiring a lawn care service, doesn't it make sense to hire a company that provides better results and is safer for your family and pets? Well, that's why I chose Natural Lawn of America. That's my lawn care company. Natural Lawn's been creating green lawns quickly, more naturally, and with fewer weeds since 1987. And Natural Lawn isn't your cookie-cutter lawn care service. Their certified specialists tailor their applications to your lawn-specific need. This unique approach has reduced pesticide use by 85%, creating a safer lawn for your family and pets to enjoy. Locally owned and family-operated right here in the Delaware Valley. Stop compromising your safety. It's time you get the results you want and the peace of mind you deserve. Take advantage of Natural Lawn's limited time offer. Free seeding every year. Schedule Natural Lawn's full service program and you'll get free seeding every year. Just call this number, 800-FREE-SEED. That's 800-FREESEED. Choose my lawn care company. It's Natural Lawn of America. Greener grass, fewer weeds. Guaranteed.
Have you heard? Now get gig internet and unlimited data with Xfinity Mobile, and you could save over $800 on internet your first year.
$800? Now that's a game changer.
Guess the secret's out on gig internet and wireless. Join the millions who save by getting Xfinity internet and mobile together. Introducing game-changing savings with Xfinity. Get started with gig speed internet now for just $44.99 a month for 24 months with a 2-year contract when you also get Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data. That's a savings of over $800 your first year. Plus, now through March 7th, get a special offer of $200 back. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay. Ends 4/3/22. Restrictions apply. New gigabit internet customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. After term, regular rates apply. Speeds vary. Compares promo rate for gig with mobile discount to regular rate for gig. Savings compares pricing of top carriers. Xfinity internet required. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage.
Yo, Philadelphia, Anthony Gargano here with my childhood friend, Bob Marino, now president, Huntington Valley Bank. Bob's still on the board of directors at Spring Garden Lending. But, Bob, who's the new voice?
Yo, Ed, I have a superstar for you. Meet Spring Garden Lending's new president, Andy Racklin, a national leader in finance and economic development.
Andy, great to meet you.
Hey, man, happy to be here.
What's your game plan?
Look, it's to grow Spring Garden Lending. We're going to increase the number of markets we serve. We're going to increase the products we offer, and we're going to maintain the positive impact we have in our communities.
Now, I know you specialize in bridge loans to acquire, rehab, construct, and refinance properties to rent or flip.
Yep, and we have 30-year fixed-rate perm financing, too.
What attracted you to Spring Garden Lending?
Spring Garden Lending has a proven track record of supporting small developers who are often challenged with finding a square deal through traditional sources.
A leg up, huh?
Absolutely. Our borrowers are the backbones of their communities, and their success is our success.
Bob's a goat. Spot on, man. Handing the ball to Andy. He's a champ. Good hands at Spring Garden Lending.
Introducing the next generation of compact digital manifolds from Testo. Best-in-class Bluetooth range and wireless clamps. Easy to use, fast, accurate results. Large graphics, all in one compact, rugged package. Testo digital manifolds are field-ready, fully smart, and fully wireless, just like the top HVAC technicians who use them. For a digital manifold that won't test your patience, visit Testo.com to find a local distributor near you or order online at Testo.com. Testo.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Hi, it's Rick. I'm at the Smith home. Where's Donnie?
Leaves and autumn bookings pile up for Rick's gutter cleaning service.
He's out? Come on.
He needs help before his bottom line gets clogged.
Okay, well, what about Christiana? We still got 6 houses today.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Nigel, the new head of Unibet US, just moved here from Europe.
From downtown. Where's downtown?
He doesn't know basketball. Take advantage during any pro basketball game with a daily profit boost on your live bets. Download the Unibet Pennsylvania app or visit pa.unibet.com. Sign up to get $500 risk-free. Unibet. Crazy about the odds.
Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Pennsylvania. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Mas Mexicali has Westchester's only rooftop bar with awesome views of Dub Sea. With 3 floors, 3 bars, over 100 tequilas, fresh-made margaritas, $4 Corona Fridays, and $15 Corona buckets every Taco Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m., you can always expect more at Mas. Visit MasMexicali.com for more info.
Introducing E-Track, an indoor electric experience featuring all electric vehicles from Ford, Kia, and Volvo. Only at the Philadelphia Auto Show. Get tickets online at phillyautoshow.com.
Listen to 97.5 The Fanatic everywhere. On Alexa at 975thefanatic.com, the Fanatic app, and now on Odyssey. More of the Anthony Gargano Show now.
On 97.5 The Fanatic.
It is 1:30. 97.5 The Fanatic. Hope everybody's enjoying their Friday. As I'm almost out of here. Mikey Miss coming your way at 2 o'clock. Of course, it is a Friday, so that means for the entire 4 o'clock hour, Brian Westbrook will join him. So, of course, you want to be listening to that. I'm sure they will continue the Sixers conversation as they will be getting you even closer to Sixers Cavs tonight at 7 o'clock. Of course, you'll be able to listen to all games live right here on The Fanatic, which is awesome. And at 6 o'clock, you got Draft Lines with Devon and Jamie. That's always a great show to listen to. And I'm sure they're going to have a lot of fun with all the prop bets that you can come up with. We had the guy calling earlier today who gave a good bet. He said James Harden is 4 threes away from passing Reggie Miller for all-time three-pointers. So he said the over-under is 2.5 tonight. He's going to take the over. It's plus money. I say if you believe James Harden's going to go out there to try to break that record or surpass Reggie Miller, I say that you just go all out at the Harden 4+3s made, which is an alternate bet you can make. It's at plus 280. So the 2.5 is plus 108, I believe he said, plus 280 for the 4+. So if you think he's going to go out there and try to break it, you do that. Now I feel bad. My man Chris tweeted in. Chris Bouzakis, I'm guessing it's Bouzakis. I know Bouzakis, so it's a Bouzakis. He had a parlay going, and he was one Steph Curry 3 made away from hitting, and there was 8 minutes left in the third. When Curry had 4 threes, he needed to make 5.
Oh my God, that's brutal.
He didn't attempt another one apparently. I don't know if he must have. He must have meant 8 minutes left in the fourth, because he said he started dishing to everyone and doesn't attempt another one. There's no way Steph Curry did not attempt another 3 in the final 20 minutes of the game.
Even the final 8 minutes of the game, that's still pretty outlandish. That's not like Steph Curry. And that was a relatively close game from what I was watching last night.
And they lost, so you would think he'd be
throwing up some.
So
threes.
maybe it was 8 minutes in the fourth, but whatever.
Still bad.
Yeah, that sucks. He was 1-3 away, and he hit on all kinds of other stuff. So that sucks, man. These same game. I know I talked to a lot of people when it was knockout night, Wednesday night, that were like, oh, my God, I was one this away, one that away, one this away from, hitting the big parlay, a couple $100, and that sucks. It really does stink, but you guys are getting close, which is awesome. 610-632-0975 is the number to get in. Somebody tweeted in, Thomas, CEO, he guessed Jason Capono. No, which is a great bust-out name. But no, Capono, the A is the second letter. The A is the third letter. If you're watching on YouTube, you see it behind me. The third letter is an A. The sixth letter is an O. And as I told you last segment, the seventh letter is the final letter. So there are 7 letters in the name. I told you that it's a name, and I told you that it's a Sixers player. All right? So those are your final clues as we get closer to the end of the show. You could try to guess to win a 4-pack of tickets at 610-632-0975 to the Philly Auto Show. Let's go to Luke in Westchester. Luke, you're on the Fanatic. Hello, Luke.
Yo,
what's up, Luke?
What's up, man? You guys, did you guys have the top 5 for the most hated players?
Yeah, so we have the top 4 that have been guessed so far. Rodgers 1, Antonio Brown 2, Bill Belichick 3. Number 4 is Odell.
Okay, I gotta guess that rounding out the top 5, it's probably gotta be either Ruggs, Kamara, or Watson's gotta be on that list.
Ruggs, Kamara not on here. Did you say just on Watson?
Yeah.
Yes, he is 5th.
Yeah, he's 5th. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but the other 2 not on this list.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, listen, what happened with Henry Ruggs is just terrible. But I wonder if because it happened so early in the season and.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was a timetable you guys had on it. If it was like the whole season. Like
it just said this like during here you go. Span the month of December, January, and February.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Okay.
I wasn't sure. But,
which some of these teams aren't even the play. Some of these people aren't on the playoffs. So like you can like when I give you the names, you're gonna be like, oh wow, okay, that makes sense. Even though some of these teams weren't in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had the right way of thinking. Now, Luke, can you give me a letter for 4-4 Wordle, man?
4-4 Wordle. What is 4-4?
Like Anthony's phrase, the Philadelphia sports thing.
Okay. Yeah. A C.
There is a C, and it's the first letter.
All right.
So C, third letter A, sixth letter O. There are 7 total. Do you have a guess?
Third letter O.
Third letter's A.
Third letter's A. I don't know. And what, the Sixers player?
Yeah, Sixers player.
Oh boy. I don't know.
Yeah, I got you. Thank you, Tom. Do you think you know it now?
I think I need one more letter.
Okay.
I'm terrible at work.
Well, I'm going to hope that JR can give us another letter coming up. Let me see. I always like seeing if YouTube has it because, then I just kind of go, hey, you should call in.
You can call in if you want, yeah.
I will tell you that Scott has it. Scott on YouTube has it. Now, here's what I'm going to do because I love our YouTube viewers. We were supposed to give away a 4-pack of the tickets every single day this week, but Monday we did not. There's a lot of James Harden hype, obviously the Friday and Sunday win, so we did not get to the auto show tickets on Monday. So here's what I'm going to do. If Scott LAF cannot make it on the phones, I want him to get a 4-pack anyway because we actually do have an extra one. So Scott, if you're listening still, shoot me a DM if you have Twitter. Do something. Try to find a way so I can actually communicate with you, so I get your email and all that kind of stuff. Scott has it. So Scott, reach out to me, whether it's my email or DM me on Twitter or something, and I will get you that 4-pack because you are deserving, because you're the first one on YouTube. So congratulations to Scott. So hopefully some more people can get it on the phone. 610-632-0975. JR in North Philly. JR, you're in the Fanatic.
Hey.
What's up, JR? You want to talk about the parade in June, huh?
No, I want to talk about the block party we're going to have in Miami with DeAndre Jordan and Joel Embiid.
I would love it, man. Listen, DeAndre Jordan's going to play 8 minutes for you. For everybody that's complaining he's cooked or whatever, he's better than Willie Cauley-Stein, and all you need is 8 minutes.
Definitely. 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 blocks.
I don't think he's going to even score 8 points.
The Lob City. You know what I mean? He's going to bring.
Yeah, that's if James Harden's play. So here's what you got to do. You got to figure out, how is Doc Rivers going to make it work? Like, is Doc Rivers going to have him play with Harden? Because Rivers said he's going to have 2 of the starters on at all times. Now, I think you're right. I think it's smart to have them on together, Harden and DeAndre, because you could do that Lob City. But I can't even say Lob City anymore because he is a little up there in age now, DeAndre.
Right.
But I'm excited. I think it's an improvement to Willie Cauley-Stein. That's all that matters. You only need 8 minutes out of him.
Definitely.
All right, man. You want to take a guess?
Yes, sir.
All right, what do you got?
Do I want? I think it's Claxton.
It is Claxton. Good job, man. All right, I'll put you on hold. I see that Scott is on the line. So, Haley, I know you're in the back. Can you take care of my man who just won and get him the 4-pack of tickets to the Philly Auto Show? But can you also take care of Scott when you have a second, because Scott got it first on the YouTube page. So thank you to everybody who played. But, yes, Claxton, I thought about that pre-show today. I don't know why.
It's very random. Yeah.
It's so random. Speedy Claxton came to my mind, and I think it's because Sixers are on my mind now. I will tell you, there was a time when I was a kid. I was very young. I was, 7, 8 years old. The Sixers, I don't know if they did this all the time or I just happened to be there. My mom had to go to ShopRite or something, and I was with my dad and my sister. And my sister went into the ShopRite with my mom because we saw a basketball hoop with a bunch of people around it. So my dad's like, let's go check this out. The Sixers did some pop-up, layup thing with World Be Free and Speedy Claxton.
2 great names.
So Speedy Claxton traveled with World Be Free to a ShopRite in probably Glassboro or something. And, one of my buddies was there. It's not like we called each other and said, let's go to this thing. He just so happened to be there. It wasn't like a Sixers camp or anything. It's just they did some pop-up thing.
Just out of nowhere.
And they had, they had a basketball net that they rolled out there, and they did layup lines. And Speedy Claxton was there. And I was 8 years old.
How'd you do? Hopefully better than the knockout tournament.
Yeah. Are you proud of yourself for that?
I'm sorry, I had to.
Now, I will say, Tom Alvarez got game.
I don't.
You have more game than everybody else. You were the last remaining Fanatic member in the knockout line. I'm not saying this is an excuse. I should not have participated. I was in a lot of pain.
Did you feel it the next day?
Oh, I felt it during.
While it was happening?
Yeah, so I then was dumb. After you knocked me out, I was like, Connor's over there terribly shooting on the other end. Connor is the most confident person in the world, but watching him shoot a basketball, I said, wow.
Yeah, that jump shot is broken.
And, of course, he did the immediate excuse. Dude, I've been drinking.
Yeah, 1 beer.
So what, your form goes away?
Sounds like excuses.
So I don't want to put Connor in his place, but let's be honest here. But anyways, so I started taking some jump shots, and it's NBA range, so you're putting a little bit more effort behind it. And I was like, well, each of these are starting to hurt a little bit more. And I'm guessing I started to sweat maybe a little bit. I don't know, but I felt like I was bleeding. I thought it opened back up, and I was terrified. I was like, dude, I got to try to make an exit because I'm not about to like start pulling off the Band-Aid in front of all, there's people there.
You just got blood leaking out of your stomach.
And then people are, we're talking. I saw Renee from CSL Plasma. She gave me a big hug, and I was like, that didn't feel good. And then she felt bad, but whatever. I was good.
Still a good time, though.
I was good, but you did good. You did very well. I'm proud of you.
In all seriousness, how did you do the layup line thing with World Be Free and Speedy Claxton? Like, did you win anything? Or
no, it was literally just like, here. Just take a layup and then go and then leave.
And then go home.
No, that was literally it.
You don't get a picture.
I think I took like 2 or 3 layups. Oh, dude, I don't know. Maybe I was 8, so I may have got a keychain. But I took like 2 or 3 layups, and my dad was fascinated because it's World Be Free, right? I'm fascinated because it's Speedy Claxton, right? I'm like, oh, this is my guy right here. So maybe that's why, because I'm thinking Sixers, and I'm probably thinking about when I was a kid and started falling in love. Because, listen, who didn't start falling in love with the 0-1 Sixers? All right, my man wants to talk. Let's go to Scott. Scott, congratulations, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Cheers, Tom. How are you guys?
Doing great, man. Thanks for participating on the YouTube chat and watching. I appreciate it. Glad you got the 4-pack of tickets, man.
Yeah, thanks for hooking me up, man. That was sweet. Haley just took down my info. So
that's awesome.
My dad's going to be pumped to head down there.
Yeah, I mean, a 4-pack, that's no joke. Bring a couple people. That's cool.
No, it's nice. You just seem like a Speedy Claxton guy. So
of course, man. Yeah, I love some of the slot players,
And the World Be Free comment, it's funny because he's like probably the most random autograph that I have down in my man cave.
Oh, really? Now, did he sign it Lloyd or did he sign it World?
He signed it World, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Anyway, just talking about the Sixers. I mean, you're talking about these people being negative and stuff. I don't get it. I think it's a defense mechanism. But, something that I'm looking forward to in kind of a weird way is for this team to face a little bit of adversity, whether that is a loss, to a good team or just some real stiff competition, just to see how they respond. I mean, it's just something that I'm kind of looking for, right? That we haven't really seen. I don't know if you can count what the Knicks did, but that's something that I'm looking for.
Yeah, but I will, because they were down at points against the Knicks in both games, right? The first game, they make that push and actually tie it in the fourth quarter, take a late lead. And it just looked like, Anthony talked about it, Legs talked about it, I've talked about it. They just looked calm out there. You know what I mean? Like, James Harden's been in these moments, and Embiid has been in these moments, and Tyrese Maxey doesn't seem to have any fear in the world. And they they blow a late lead to the Knicks, and they still end up covering. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and it translates to watching the game, too, because I had my feet up the whole time. Like, I wasn't worried. A couple people are texting worried, and I'm just like, I think they're going to be all right. And part of it, I think, is what you see out there, how they're dealing with it. So,
yeah, man, it's a great time, and now it's going to turn into an everyday event. You have any plans for tonight's game, Saturday's game?
No, not yet. I'll probably just watch it at home. I might get together with some guys tomorrow. I live right down the street from the Chickies and Pete's in Malvern that you guys were at.
Oh, that's cool.
I may head up there and looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, that's a nice spot. They got a lot of good TVs and stuff. Listen, Scott, I appreciate the call, man. Congrats on winning the 4-pack of tickets. Have a great weekend. There he is, Scott from YouTube. So there you go. I like when the YouTube people succeed as well. That's it's awesome. Obviously, all these contests are on the phones and all that kind of stuff, so it's nice.
Yeah, you got to give some love to them.
Yeah, exactly. Now, this weekend's going to be tough because it's going to be like 70 degrees on Sunday. And I was telling you earlier, so I am going dry until the baby is here. I've told you of my fears. God forbid I have 2 beers in an hour. Right? You're supposed to drink, what, one beer an hour before you get behind a wheel?
I think so, yeah.
And then Christy goes, uh-oh, it's time.
Here it is.
The amount of anxiety I will feel behind the wheel of the car, even though I would be fine, even though you shouldn't do that. Needing to drive my wife to the hospital, and especially if you're like in a little bit of a hurry, and like God forbid I'm dealing with other extracurricular activities, which if you listen to the show, you know of. I can't have her drive the car when she's about to.
No, that's not a good
pop.
I mean, I respect you for doing it because that probably is, not the easiest thing to do.
No, it's not, because if you listen, I love my beer.
Sure.
Listen, it's not like I'm getting sloshed every day, but I just, dude, I'm drinking beer too. I don't drink soda, really.
No, I don't either.
So I have a couple of Gatorades at the house, but between I was sick 2 weeks ago, I have the stab wound now. I haven't worked out, so I'm not trying to crush Gatorades because I don't want to take in all this sugar when I'm not really exercising right now. My exercise is walking the dog. So I've just been drinking water. And it's Sunday's going to be 70 and sunny, dude. There's a chance of rain.
I want to tell you to have one or two. But, I mean, that goes down as, is there a bigger car ride in your life, besides maybe the first time you get your license? Maybe. Bigger car ride in your life than driving your wife or, whatever it may be to the hospital?
I think the bigger one is driving the baby home.
Okay.
That's my. I'm already telling you now.
That's fair.
YouTube, listeners, you name it. I'm apologizing right now. The day we bring the baby home, I will be driving 40 miles per hour on the highway.
Like that scene from Knocked Up?
You are going to be beeping the hell out of me, and I don't care. Let me tell you, Stephen A. Smith, we don't care. I am going to be 10 and 2 on the steering wheel, white knuckle driving, right lane, 40 miles. I'll be doing this. Go ahead. Go by me. I love what I do because I get to talk to people, right? And every single Sunday, Jamie and I have some sort of baby conversation because he's got 2 kids. He's got a new beautiful child. And so I get to ask him a lot of questions, right? And we talk about in the air and people call and all that kind of stuff, which is really fun. So the thing that I'm terrified of, one of the things I'm terrified about is that. And I like getting the advice from all of you. So please give me more and more advice. John Kincaid is giving me great advice. Anthony's giving me great advice. My father, my mom have given me great advice. But there's a lot of things that Jamie has 2 kids. Anthony has 2 kids. Oh, you're fine. A couple of beers, you'll be fine. I've never done this before.
No, you're allowed to be nervous your first kid. It's easy for them to say it, both 2 kids each. To them, it's old news at this point. It's your first kid at this time.
Yeah. And it's not like I'm nervous to be a dad. I don't want. Hey, Christy.
Guess what?
May have had a gummy worm. You're gonna have to drive.
I know you're in a little bit of pain right now.
Yeah, you're gonna have to drive though.
It's not a good look. No.
I can't do that. Let's go to John in Huntington Valley. John, you're on the Fanatic.
What's going on, Judas?
Hey, John.
So I was a little bummed. I had the Wordle.
Oh, damn! I'm sorry.
That's cool, but congratulations on you being a dad really soon.
Thank you, man. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting close, man.
But this Sixers team is it's unreal to watch.
Yes.
I knew it was going to be great. I didn't think it was going to be this great. My dad's in Florida right now, and I'm on the phone with him the whole time during the game, doing play-by-plays with him.
Oh, that's cool.
And at the end of the game, and I'm thinking, our bench really did nothing. And then I'm looking at the box score. I'm like, Dad, our starters put in 102 points.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. And I said this the other night on Beers with Bob. From here on out. Now the number's going to eventually increase because guys are still trying to figure out where to be on the floor because James Harden is such a great facilitator that he'll get it to you wherever you're at if you have an open shot. But the combination of Matisse Thybulle, even though he's in the starting lineup, but the combination of Matisse Thybulle, Danny Green, George Niang, and Furkan Korkmaz, I need them to total at least 6 3-pointers right now. 6. It doesn't matter. One guy can give me 6. They can combine for 2, and one guy hits 1. I don't care. But I need at least 6 3-pointers because those 6 3-pointers, that's 18 more points from what you just said, the 100 points that the starters are going to give you. Because you're going to get 25 at least from Maxey and Harden and Embiid on an average night. Sometimes it's going to go down, but one guy may have 30. But that's 75 points right there. Harris, I expect to give you 15 a night, so that's going to get you to 90. Matisse will give you around 8 to 10. That's 100, as you just mentioned. And if you can get those 6 3-pointers from the bench, you're at 118. And so far, they've been in that 120 range each night, and they've won.
Yeah, and the combination of Harden and Embiid, the only way they're going to lose in a 7-game series is if they beat themselves. I mean,
oh yeah, of course.
I hate saying that as a Philly fan because we always find a way to kill ourselves.
Right.
But there's no other. I guess Phoenix is out of the West. You don't have to worry about them till the championship. But who's going to stop them?
No, it's a great point, John. And I asked Bob this the other night, and I appreciate the call, dude. Have a great weekend. I asked Bob this on Beers with Bob because, Bob's a longtime basketball man. And I just go, listen, use your basketball knowledge. How do you stop this team? And we really couldn't come up with an answer.
Yeah, you don't.
Bob said make them shoot on the outside as much as they can. Don't let James Harden penetrate, and don't let Embiid get to his spot on the court and all that kind of stuff. But okay, so you go to double team Embiid, and we saw this in this most recent game against the Knicks. James Harden passed it to Embiid, and Harden's man went after him. So Embiid just kicked it out to Harden, who then hit a three. You know what I mean? They ran the pick and roll. Both guys stayed with Embiid, so Harden popped. They ran the pick and roll. Both guys stayed with Harden. He dished it to Embiid. It's beautiful, man. Now, listen, Tom, thank you very much. We're up against it. My bad. Great job today. Thank you for coming in today. I really appreciate it. Great stuff as always. Love working with you. Thank you, everybody on YouTube and on the phones and on Twitter for checking in. Mike Missinelli Show coming your way next. Everybody, enjoy your weekend. I'll be back Sunday morning with the Bro right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.